Hey gang, for those of you who enjoy QF, a podcast about Howard Stern, and would like to donate to us just via PayPal, you can, using the email address johnnythegreek21@gmail.com. You can check the link in the description for the spelling, and it's also here on the graphic. And if you'd like to do more in terms of donations or subscriptions, you can use our Patreon account and subscribe via the Black Kluge level, and you can receive our weekly content that we're putting only on Patreon. It's exclusive for that platform. And anything over $5 is just gravy, guys. We love you. Thank you so much.
Now, look, I don't want to get into a long explanation. That's not what I came here for. My audience isn't here. They're here to laugh. Hour and a half. I have not taken a break. Spread the word about Sirius. We do not take commercial breaks that often. Let's go ahead to Randy. I don't want to be in a wig and a purse. I do that in my personal life.
Jeff, I don't want anybody touching me.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm with you.
Sometimes. Like, hey,
yeah,
man,
but,
what's up?
Yeah, you touch me because you're paid to touch me.
I'm not saying I was the biggest stud, but I got mine. And I fucked some pretty good-looking women. Way before I was Howard Stern on the radio. Fuck off. Assholes.
The nose I have now is gigantic, and the fact of the matter is, the reason it looks different on Letterman, which I've explained a million times, is that I keep the camera so far back on the E! Show, and I only shoot from the right-hand side.
You wouldn't turn the children against me, would you?
I would try.
She would, too.
She's coming and she's fighting on all sides.
No, but I'd win that one.
I wouldn't even have to do anything. If you ever did anything to hurt me, they would hate you.
I wouldn't hurt you. I just want to go out and have sex with some women.
Listen, by the way, considering what I'm going through, I feel horrible that your smoking hot girlfriend went to a movie without you last night.
And then came home.
Can I say something about that, though?
And then came home.
Let's be honest, though.
When he was knee-deep in Johnny Walker Blue.
Well,
It's a bachelor party.
I think it was a good idea for the beginning of it.
Yeah, I think you would have been just as weird. If we started at the beginning, you go, oh my God, everyone's staring at me.
Not me. I love it. I love when people stare.
He loves to be stared at.
I love it.
Move into Sam's house and get the fuck out of our lives. We'll get Beetlejuice to pick out our
Get fatter, Hardy. We're more of those fucking things.
Beetlejuice will pick out Howard Church. You can live with Sam and blow him. You're being a little,
and not only that,
baby there.
No, not only that. Hey, I'm just trying to weigh it
You
up.
can't live without a stylist in your life?
I'm thinking who would be easier to replace?
I think Ralph, of course.
But there's a lot of guys
who picks out your clothes.
Chris, could you date Ralph? Would you?
No.
You couldn't? Why?
No, look at that smile. He's lying.
You're lying.
Robin,
Tell the truth. Could you date Ralph?
Date Ralph?
No.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
I could.
No.
We would have the best time, Robin. I
couldn't date Ralph.
You wouldn't talk to me.
I couldn't date Ralph, but I could fuck him. I'd fuck his brains out.
Well, maybe.
Maybe. If you guys
a lot of people feel that way.
I know Ralph is straight, but all right, now I understand.
All right.
I don't understand. I can't understand gorgeous.
It's a straight place.
No guy. Let me just say something about men. No man
Says gorgeous.
Really? This restaurant is gorgeous.
Okay.
Now, you got to understand something. Guys don't talk that way.
Next
Guy
time.
goes, hey, it was a good lunch.
And it was sort of set.
Well, the sketch, what the controversy was, it was Patrick Swayze, who's gorgeous.
Welcome, folks, to QF, a podcast about Howard Stern. I'm Fillmore, your host, a.k.a. Jim Fix. And with me today is Raven, as usual. How you doing, Raven?
Good. Hey, guys.
And with us, surprise, everybody, Bob D is on the mic tonight. How you doing, Bob?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Trying to get through everything. And a shout out, please, to Carol Cheney, who's down in Louisiana. And we hope you're doing well, my dear. And Deborah, also one of our contributors, she had a major bit of flooding as well. So those dryers are doing their work. I don't know when she talks dryers. I don't know what exactly she means. Do you know what this is? These are mechanisms for drying out a basement. Do you use this, Raven, or no?
No, I've got a 5-fan system set up, but
okay.
And a dehumidifier.
Dehumidifier and fans. Okay, that's what I figured. Okay, but maybe for larger, I don't know. Anyway, we're not a flooding people. We deal with forest fires in the old country. That's the biggest problem in summer, and now it's over, and hopefully that's not such an issue. But my God, the heat in Greece, holy fuck. Anyway, far from me to digress as usual, guys. We're going to go right into this breakdown. It is from June 8th. And we're going to start off with the first clip. It is Poor Project Free Wiggy laments not being consulted for the new Munsters remake, which, if I'm not mistaken, involved Rob Zombie, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, okay. So this is another one of those, Jesus, well, how do you forget me?
Rob Zombie announcing, I happen to be an insider. I knew this already, but he announced yesterday that he is directing the new Munsters movie. I have been speaking with Rob, not what do you call that? Emailing with Rob about it, but
you're not consulting?
I'm consulting Rob. No, he didn't ask. You know what? He didn't even ask me. Like,
how dare he?
Perfect one to have Bob in for, because that sense of entitlement just dripping off the mic.
Is he a Munsters guy? Like, what's he talking about?
Yeah,
I've never. He is. I didn't know that.
Well, he had, okay, I keep getting Munsters and the Addams Family. I keep getting confused because I wasn't as huge a fan of either, really. But Grandpa Al Lewis was a Munster, was he not?
Correct.
Yeah. So Grandpa Al Lewis was connected to the show ages and ages ago. So he kind of feels he needs to be part of this shit. But meanwhile, he's so far out of the loop. He had a production company and only managed to put one show on, and none of it was because of him.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he looks like someone that should be in the Munsters. So I guess he could have consulted on that.
And I'm not sure if this is a Mark Shabzovich clip, is it, Raven?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, the graphic I figured is just the indication. Thanks, Mark.
I've talked to him about the Munsters in private, and I know that was something he wanted to do for like 20 years, to get a Munsters movie going, a reboot. And I have spoken with him, so in a sense, I have consulted him. But was not asked, but he did.
Oh no!
What a desperate way to attach yourself to some project you have nothing to do with.
Oh my God!
The next clip is called 40 Years in the Business and Doesn't Know What a Pop Filter Is.
Where were the Munsters? Did they live in New York?
Why am I having trouble hearing you? Jack up your...
I don't know.
What's going on with you today? All right, that's a little better. That's good now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
What's the matter with you? Are you okay?
Maybe he didn't have he'd have an amplifier aimed at the mic with the sounds of a 23-year-old shit rock song.
Yeah, it sounds like a monster truck fucking event going on while they're trying to talk to each other.
I was going to say, like, try to have a conversation at a Corrosion of Conformity concert, and that's over tea.
Now, just keep in mind that he's been recording for over a year at this point, like a year and 3 months.
Right.
He's been doing this, and he's been running his own board at home.
Well, yeah, and I think it's spelled Bored. And in fact, the first month or so he used webcam mics, or the first week it was like webcam mics, and he clearly sounded like shit. Then he got the sound right, but then dropouts like crazy, and we're going to blame it on Long Island Wi-Fi. There's all kinds of gamers in Long Island fucking up the network. My ass. No, he's just they don't have Scott the engineer. This is what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like you're a little out of it today. What's going on?
I'm listening to you. I'm responding to what you said.
Oh.
How is it that I'm not with the program?
I know what it is. Did you put a wind mask on your microphone? Like what do you call it? A wind sock? It has? Yeah. I don't like it. It's like a big penis going into your mouth.
Yeah, if it was a guy's mouth, it'd be fine. These
it looks like a big penis going into your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah,
what did he call that? Thinks. A windsock? What did he call it?
Pop mask, or what do you call it? A wind mask?
Yeah.
A facial mask?
A wind mask. Okay.
Yeah. Number 3, Wiggy believes he's peaking.
Yeah, I like
that. Was a long time ago.
I like when good-looking guys age really badly. It's great. You go, wow, I might possibly be better looking than him now.
Yeah, you outlasted him. Now you're the better looking one. You're the hot guy.
I'm hot and you're not. That's the good thing about not starting out good looking. You can only go up. Everybody else can get uglier.
No, you can't. I guarantee Vincent Price is dead almost 20 years now, and he looks better in the coffin than Wig does right now.
Go ahead, Raven.
Well, we're talking about how many nose jobs, how many chin shavings, Adam's apple shavings. Like his whole face has been remodeled over the past decade or two. And he's got no qualms about it whatsoever. But yeah, he's always got to put down people for aging. And here's this guy just getting like, who knows, Botox or whatever put into him.
He the best example of him fucking on someone who at one point was considered one of the most beautiful people or hot people was that great comparison Benjamin did with the Russell Crowe before and after the turnaround. Like, I didn't fat shame Russell Crowe. Yeah. And he's going, I love it when, guys that used to be fit get fat, and it was in the Daily News and it was in this and that. It's that Schadenfreude, obviously, but it's on a base level. He's always so insecure about his own looks. So anything he can do to make himself look better, even if at the cost of someone else looking like shit, is a welcome thing.
Like, don't forget the Photoshop he did on private parts too. The whole body wasn't him, and the face was totally redone. So we're just always getting lied to about this.
Totally.
How much do you think about other guys' looks? It almost never crosses my mind at any point, and he's just obsessed with it. And it's not even like the gay thing. It's just he thinks about it all the time. It's what's funny to me is like he hasn't entertained the idea like he thinks women think like how guys think, and that it's all visual. Like, he hasn't understood that women like men for things outside of their physical looks, like people start to realize that as you become an adult, like there's a lot of other factors why women like guys, but it's almost like he just projects so much in the way that he thinks onto it. Like, why are you like, dude, you're a 70-year-old guy. You're off the table as far as like looks go. Forget about it.
Well, yeah, age alone. But I mean, does he think that Scott Baio went to the Playboy Mansion with a T-shirt made of hundreds and shit like that, and that's how he got all these chicks? What was that one line Artie said? Dude, if he was talking about John the Stutterer. John the Stutterer was wanting to get with Lisa G, and his stutter was so awful, and and Artie goes something, John. If John, I'm sorry to be the cold water of life, but if John Stamos had a stutter, he'd be swimming in pussy. He's like, your stutter is one of a myriad of issues you have.
Right.
So let's go to the next one. Captain Denny, a.k.a. Back Off His Bullshit Caller Time, discusses Leo's Dick Caprio.
You went, no way, dude? Like, no way you have such a little penis?
Yes. We both caught the same drift. We were laughing our heads off, dude.
I've been to Sunset Beach. Let me tell you something.
Oh, yeah?
I know that bathroom. That's why I pee my pants instead of going to the bathroom. I don't want anybody looking at my dick. I'm going to tell you right now, if you leaned over and started looking at my dick, I wouldn't be laughing.
I listen, I don't know what he's talking about exactly, but it's not like every urinal in every bathroom is the pee trough in Vegas where everybody can look at your dick. Unless he's waving it around in a bathroom, who's looking at anybody's dick except their own?
No one is.
I wish I could see mine. Jesus Christ. I mean, like, anyway, fuck him. I think the next one. Can we continue with number 5? More fear mongering from the king of all glory holes.
But I do want to compliment myself on saving Robin Quivers' life yet again. As you know from yesterday's show, Robin Quivers was talking about, I'm thinking now, with everything in the pandemic, I was planning a trip to Napa Valley. And I'm like, are you fucking insane? She's planning birthday parties for Ronnie, going away parties, trips to Napa. I said, you stay home. And she listened to me. And today, in the news...
Okay, let's go. Let's get through the rest of this clip, and then we can talk about it.
Let me see if I can find this report about Napa Valley. That here it is.
Drink.
You ready? The report, Napa Valley.
What is the report?
I'm waiting for it to come up on the screen. Guys, didn't we discuss you? Yes, thank you.
Oh my God.
20 minutes of fucking dead air. 20 seconds, 20 minutes. Jesus, I wish.
Vaccinated Napa County woman dies from COVID-19.
Oh, dear.
There you go. You would have been that woman, so I saved your life.
Well, I listened to you. I was like, wow, this was like Scared Straight yesterday and the day before with you, because I'm just back in isolation.
Oh.
How much longer till Robin starts resenting him for preventing her from going on these trips and from having parties for people or dinners, just simple things with like 2 other people. He won't let her have a going away party for Ronnie. He won't let her go to Napa. She's going to stop telling him stuff, I guarantee you.
Yeah, she'll just go and do stuff instead. I think the other thing is she sounds that more and more now when we do these breakdowns, she sounds like she's completely meted up with some kind of opiates or something. Because she's just, I could be just age. She's always had that haughty, slow drawl, but it sounds like she's fucking doped up. Anybody, do you get that sense, Bob?
I just get that she's checked out and letting the, Howard spin his wheels on whatever nonsense. He sounds like a doddering, like, just geriatric guy digging around for some article, like, I don't know. She's just, okay, Howard, just kind of checked out. I don't know that she sounds medicated. I just don't think she gives a shit anymore.
I think that's a given. She doesn't give a shit. But
yeah.
But you're right, Raven. I believe it's not long before she either just tells him fuck off on the air because she like opiates or not, she'll just tell him like fuck off. And what's he going to do? Fire her? What's he going to take her salary from her and put it into the show? No. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to listen going forward for that medicated voice that you're talking about. I've just gotten used to her kind of drawing out her haughtiness, and something tells me that it's very likely, but in the same sense, I think she's got to look at life in the same way where what has she got to lose? Like, she needs some form of mental happiness. And Robin was all about going out back in the day. Mm-hmm. She was all about, other celebrities being seen, going to tennis matches, whatever. Totally. And it just strikes me that if he keeps her in, that might kill her mentally. Kind of like old people when you put them in a home and they just deteriorate quicker. It might do the same to her in that sense.
That's probably why he's doing it.
That's say so.
They like control. They want to kind of wear people down in their control of them, and kind of keep them suffocated for sure.
Here's a question for you guys, just on the fly, real quick, hypothetical. If she dies before him, which is very likely, first of all, would he get the enjoyment of doing a week-long or a month-long Robin dedication, like a Robin eulogy for a month, just killing time? Would he stop? Number one, that's number one. And number two, do you think he'd actually feel bad, or would it be one of those situations where some of my supplies, one of the major sources of supply is now gone?
I'm willing to guess that there might even be something in the contract related to if Robin passes, then he gets, 1 to 2 weeks off to mourn and readjust the show. And then they'll have to bring in another chair. He cannot talk by himself the whole time.
He cannot.
He can only rotate staff in so much, but I think it might just be like a daily thing, like someone else in Robin's chair that comes up. I really think he will, under contract, have to continue. That's probably been negotiated already due to, her failing health in the past couple of years. So there has to be some kind of just parts to the contract that would address that.
What about you, Bob? Do you think he'd actually be broken up? Or, I mean, they do go back a long way, but do you think it would be mostly all about, fuck it, now who do I get to suck my ass?
Well, he would feel sorry for himself, kind of what you had asked when Ben dies or one of his parents dies. They only really feel empathy or sadness for themselves. So he obviously cannot do a show without her. I don't think he would take a lot of time off, if any time. But he whenever they lose a major source of supply, it is devastating towards them. But again, it's all about them and empathy and sympathy for themselves. It wouldn't be for her.
Yeah, I almost think it would be he'd do a perfunctory kind of eulogy thing, but then like the show must go on. It's all about me, not her. So fuck her. And the closer they get to the abyss. Number 6 is called Fake Joan Rivers. Now, I believe this might be the same chick who does what's the shit? The Jennifer Vitz impression, because she seems to be doing a lot. There's a couple of impressions she does. This one wasn't as bad as I've heard, but Joan Rivers was on so much in Life that I don't know that I ever want to hear a fake Joan Rivers. So you guys judge for yourselves.
You've been dead now for, I figured it out, 7 years. Took me a while to do the math, but you've been dead. Yeah, you've been dead for 7 years. And by the way, I'm shocked. Are you still getting plastic surgery? Is that what you're implying by your last job?
Can we try? I'm addicted to plastic surgery, Howard. Oh, please. I have been under the knife more times than Nicole Brown Simpson. Listen.
She's still shocked.
How topical.
Joan.
I'm 88, Howard. Face it, I'm old. I am so old. I send nudes on a rotary phone. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. That is old.
Fucking hell. These fake shit bits are, I mean, this is, imagine listening to this in real time and adding, 10 more minutes of it, maybe?
Imagine laughing at this.
Well, we are laughing at it, but not the right way.
not in the right way. Just such shit.
Can we get the Ted Kennedy impression back? Okay. Number 7. Music poser talks about an even bigger poser.
Head like a whole 9 Inch Nails. Kind of freaks me out that Trent Reznor now is like a normal guy. I used to think he was super weird. And I bought into the whole. I don't know, but now he's like. He writes like soundtracks for movies and
this fucking 79. Trent Reznor has been writing soundtracks since what? Natural Born Killers. He's been scoring films for ages, and I'm no lover of Trent Reznor. I like industrial, but I saw them at Lollapalooza, and I said I'll never buy a fucking 9 Inch Nails record again because they were just such posers. And I found out after the fact that they had it choreographed so that they knew what keyboards they could break, so that the roadies would fix them the next night. So it was all choreographed. And the keyboardist was always doing like this head banging thing. You can't look cool when you're on the keyboards, dude. Just get off stage. and of course, every poser was there with the 9 Inch Nails shirt, but never owned a record. And they only had the one album out at that time. But either way, he starts going on about in concert watching 9 Inch Nails. So here's my question. 9 Inch Nails. Their heyday was, let's say, 94, 95, 96. I mean, that's really early 90s. That's when they were at their peak,
Right.
And who's going? 16, 17, 18-year-olds, teenagers. Absolutely. So imagine a guy in his 40s going to a 9 Inch Nails concert who looks like Howard.
I've heard him trash Trent Reznor about this same thing before. Like how I guess Trent Reznor kind of cleaned up his long hair, ratty look. And I remember Howard just really resented that before. But yeah, I mean, 9 Inch Nails kind of, I'm not a huge fan of them, but I do remember that one album, The Fragile, like they kind of turned it around at that point, kind of grew up a little bit. And that was a long time ago. That was probably like 2000 or somewhere around there. So
I think so, yeah. And then he was a pioneer with the internet as well. Like him and Prince, I think I mentioned this before. They really went after fans online and really gave them like options other than going to the stores and stuff before it was really feasible. And I give them credit for that because that's what all artists should have been doing as soon as it was available to them.
Well, in 2010, he got a Grammy for the Social Network soundtrack. That was kind of like his peak, let's say. And then ever since, he's been charged for doing all kinds of soundtrack pieces or the whole thing, which is fine. I mean, I was dancing to him when I was 16 back in the 80s.
Right.
Sorry to date myself, guys, but we would go out like clubbing and that would be the music that we'd hear at like 16, 17, 18. And then somewhere in, the 90s, it became like the frat boy thing. And that's where I lost him because what I used to hear as an underground music became something too much popular with people that weren't in the goth scene or weren't hanging out at like after hours clubs. So Wiggy is jealous of him for his success, his good looks, his ability to cross over into movies, have production companies, have all of this at his fingertips. And I mean, let's just say that he was friends with Marilyn Manson, but he's been able to detach himself, kind of like Wiggy has, from all of these sexual offenders. That in the same sense, they have the same move. They backtrack history, rewrite it a little, and say, I have no clue. And now that I know this, my eyes are opened, and it's a whole new world for me. But back in the day, he's been tied to some shady shit too. Yeah. So it's just something that goes with the industry. There's a bit of this is like Trent Reznor was a pioneer in a lot of ways of the like I said, the marketing, like the internet marketing, and he was at the forefront when it was really not possible. But then also became like was really a cottage industry. He'd be producing as much as he'd be making his own stuff. He'd be producing for people, doing singles, remixes, all kinds of shit. Not that I was reading the mags, so I already knew. Like I was trying to keep up to date on what was happening, but but that respectability, the fact that like trying to just be a guy that eventually when he gets to his 60s will be just a producer. He won't be going out on tour, I'm pretty sure. He'll just be helping younger acts sound a certain way, whatever. And that's a decent career arc for anybody. I have more respect for Trent as a self-made guy than his actual, output. But either way, he's also known to distance himself from Wiggy and not be on the show. Has he been on the show? I don't think he's ever been on the show, has he? I thought there was one appearance back in the 80s, but I could be really wrong on that one. Well, Nine Inch Nails only started in 89, 90, so I don't know. I'll have to look that one up. But either way, he goes on and he's going to figure in the interview with Dave Grohl, the call-in, the abortion that is the Dave Grohl interview this day. And there's definitely some fuck Trent going on.
And he's in a suit, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? That was that. I used to go to those Nine Inch Nails shows, and I would be scared. Like I was like, there's something bad going on here. You know what I mean?
And those videos, oh my god.
Yeah. Oh.
I was a 40-year-old man getting scared at a Nine Inch Nails concert.
You think he really went to one?
With Ralph, yeah, absolutely, because he was told this is the cool place to go. You got to go there, man. Like nothing like getting your fucking 33-year-old stylist to take you to a Nine Inch Nails concert.
Guaranteed he was backstage. He wasn't out in the general population with everybody else.
Or he might have been in some kind of VIP section, like a balcony or some shit. Yeah, but and maybe backstage. Who knows? But could just go ahead.
He has PTSD from Led Zeppelin concerts with firecrackers and
M80s,
M80s going off in the audience.
Yeah. So as soon as they get into as soon as they get into Wish, he bailed.
Like I remember, I went to a Nine Inch Nails show, and Trent Reznor came out, and he's all covered in blood, and right behind him on a screen there was a lamb that was like laying in a road, and flies were all over it. And I'm like, wow.
Okay. So this is when Dave Grohl calls in, and we.
Oh, this is good.
This is really awful because basically there were so many dropouts, guys, and they'll say it's not them. Like Bowie comes on eventually and says it's not us, but okay, well, regardless, and this may actually, if it's pre-recorded, which I doubt, they would have it this fucked up and have it pre-recorded and released like this. We may get dropped out of the Sunday for the breakdown, but we'll try our best. Number 8, Wig Dave asks Dave if he drums with an abacus.
How does that work? Like if I call up a Dave Grohl and I go, dude, I need you to play, on a couple of my tracks. Do I have to pay you? Like, does he work out a rate with you? Because I would think you're pretty expensive.
Marble talk.
The concept was Dave Grohl early on, when he was still with Nirvana, drummed on a Nine Inch Nails track or something like that. I don't remember exactly. And so he's basically trying to, be his accountant for him. Like, did you get paid for that shit? Did you get $1?
Yeah, unlike your staff, people get paid to create content.
Well, Dave's going to tell you that no, he didn't get paid and he didn't care. Like he was just about having fun, and the session was not a paid session, but normally he might. On the other hand, I don't know if he was part of any kind of musicians union. He'd have to get paid something, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I don't know. These guys say stuff like that, like, oh, I was just happy to be a part of it. But a lot of them get paid. There's a lot of people getting paid in that industry, and a lot of ghostwriting and credits. And sure. I would be really surprised if he was not compensated at all on it. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
to get, or do you do it gratis?
That's the only time I've really been paid to play the drums on anyone's record. Like really? Queens of the Stone Age or Tenacious D or all these different people that I played drums on that record, I just kind of go in and just do it and leave.
Okay, so it's the opposite. He normally doesn't get paid, but this is the one time he did get paid, which makes perfect sense. And if you get big enough, yeah, you can go and just waive a fee. If you're him in Foo Fighters now, you can do whatever you want, wherever you want.
Yeah.
But I can't see at that time, especially being as big as Nine Inch Nails were, just them going, listen, would you like some exposure?
Right.
The drummer for Nirvana needs exposure.
Right.
Yeah, Raven?
It could just be trading favors. It could be, I'll do this for you and you do something for a friend of mine. Yeah. I mean, currency in that industry, I can't imagine, is always got to be strict marbles, like Wiggy thinks. He has no clue of how relationships work and people build businesses and brands.
Yeah, and that synergy can sometimes help. It can you can cross over into another fan base, even people that might not listen. Like, I mean, honestly, Nirvana did not have, and even Foo Fighters would not have had much to do with 9 Inch Nails. But at the same time, the later you get into the 80s, people are starting to cross over all over. And yeah, it makes a good business sense move too. Number 9, Wig upset Dave doesn't pick the pennies out of the fountain.
Yeah, but wait a second. Wouldn't you be pissed if you've laid down a drum track and then this thing blows up and it becomes one of the biggest records ever, and you go, maybe the guy should have fucking paid me something for my time. I would think.
Howard, I'm doing okay. Okay.
I know. I
could just go out, but no. I mean, I think it's to me it's just fun to.
When I heard that clip the first time, I thought Bob will have a field day with that one.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, is Dave is in a situation that he's okay, unlike Howard's staff.
Yeah,
he's not at home. He's not at home eating cat food like half of Howard's staff. So he can sit there and say, "Yeah, I don't need to get paid for this Queens of the Stone Age record." Yeah, he's got money. That's a whole separate thing. But yeah. Howard would never understand something like that. I mean, because Howard's not passionate about anything. Like, Queens of the Stone Age has good stuff, and Dave was probably a fan of that band, and he's already a multi-millionaire. Like, yeah, maybe he did go ahead and do that. That's awesome if he did do that, and he's in a situation that he can, so...
Think of the movie Dirty Work, where he was asked to be the part that Adam Sandler plays, the devil, and he ends up not doing it. He gave some excuse like, I didn't want to do it, whatever. I guarantee the money wasn't right, so he said, I'm not doing it. I'm too big for that shit. I had my own film, and I'm going to play a bit part in a Norm Macdonald film. His ego would not allow him to do that.
Howard?
Raven? Yeah, Howard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right, and he probably was shitting his pants that he would even get the line right.
Yeah.
Or make an ass of himself.
Yeah, which definitely would have happened.
So insecure. Also, Dave mentioned it was just fun to do these collaborations. Yeah. He doesn't know fun. He has no concept of the word fun because he's never had fun in his life. Everything is a job. Everything is dread or anger or resentment. It's just, there's no fun for him. He can't understand that concept.
What enjoyment would a guy who hates music get out of going to a 9 Inch Nails concert or a Metallica concert? He's going to be seen or to just, schmooze with people. That's the only reason. Or to be seen, yeah. So, Raven?
I think it's just foreplay for him and Ralph, honestly.
Do you also have that visual of them in that those tunics, those matching tunics
matching
watching?
Tunic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I gotta have to put that one in there. Number 10, SiriusXM really putting their money into the phone lines.
The reason I like to hear that you were nervous is because I imagine being a musician and after being in Nirvana, after having this huge success with Foo Fighters, I just lost him. Shit.
What happened?
I don't know. He lost his connection on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
Of course
you did.
I heard this crazy noise and I didn't know what that was.
Okay. And the next clip right away. SiriusXM really knows how to run a railroad.
Dave, I was thinking about the last time you were on with you had the whole band with you, and then I felt like I didn't get to the bottom of it, but when Pat was saying that you get together on a semi-regular basis and perform as no. Why do we keep losing Dave? Shit.
There it goes.
He's not even a podcast. Most podcasts sound better than this.
It's like a test pattern. Okay, next one is called Just Simply Drink.
Hey, guys, anyone know what's going on? How come we keep losing Dave? Well, anyway, you heard the big announcement that, that is a big deal.
And June 20th is not far away.
No.
Can't believe that.
Dave went through a tunnel, actually. That's what happened.
Oh, is he driving?
Where is he going? What is he doing? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what Dave. Let me ask Dave what's going on.
Okay, we'll continue. Just a little bit more.
Oh.
Dave, what happened?
I feel like every time you mention Nirvana.
Oh, my God. This is hysterical.
It can't be on our end, right?
What is he doing?
I don't know. I'm telling you, man. I think it's those Russians hacking us.
There it is. Greatest interviewer of all time, guys.
And he has 40 plus years of experience on the radio, and he can't even fill in the blanks in between these horrible connections he's got with Dave. So he's just there like, Robin, what do you think? I think it's the Russians.
Not even that, but wouldn't you expect like a Fred couple drops to lighten up the mood or chill up, eat up some sound, you know what I mean? Like some silence there. Fuck's sake.
Some self-deprecation or some kind of joke or that was just terrible.
Yeah, and Fred is there smoking a cigarette. He's probably not even in studio for this because what need is there of him? Fuck. The next clip
is Fred.
Exactly. Number 13. Dave needs to get one of those Moen phones.
Oh, wow. Oh, wait. Here's Dave.
Howard, it's definitely not on our end, just so you know.
Hey, Dave, what are you doing? Are you driving through a tunnel?
No, I swear to God, because I don't know if it's me or you.
Oh, no. Wow. I hear that noise. I'm like, he's gone again.
That's weird.
Dude,
this is the guy.
That is terrible.
He needed the summer off to recharge from this. Go ahead, Raven.
This is what people are paying for a premium service, and this is what we're getting. So, guys, thanks.
If you guys subscribe to our Patreon instead, you're not going to be disappointed. You're not going to have us break down in the middle of, like, Raven, I thought...
Oh, man, was that bad. That was one of the worst ones I've heard yet.
Okay, so this is... Yeah, go ahead, please.
Just real quick, did you notice that Bowie's voice is gradually getting grittier and grittier? It sounds like he just smoked 2 packs of Marlboro Reds.
Who's?
Bowie.
Oh, Bowie, yeah. That was, I think the last time we went on the 7th, he was talking about him and Mary doing more pot-based stuff. And
Edibles,
he definitely had that fucking gravel going into the aluminum pan voice. Yeah, for sure.
This show, I mean, this is really bad, man. Like, as much as we joke on it, this is seriously fucking bad.
Do we even need to talk about it? Can we just play it and like get the same effect?
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, they're sitting there. You think he drove through a tunnel? Oh, I don't.
How's it different from those nervous Mark phony phone calls that Richard used to do, call in those cable access places, and all of a sudden go, oh, I just want. Sorry. This is my first time on a radio. That was at least calculated. This is just anyway. This definitely is Mark Shabsovich clip. It's called Logic Breakdown. I'm not sure this one. Okay, here we go.
Thousands of hours on stage of performing in front of audiences. The fact that you still get nervous, it means to me you still care. You know?
Yeah, I mean, there.
What does getting nervous have to do with caring whether you're performing or not? Your emotion. It's something to do. Jesus Christ! I love doing stand-up comedy when we're able to. In COVID, you can't. I still get nervous. That means that's nothing. That's my physiological reaction to getting in front of a mic and having people expect you to be funny and you're just failing miserably.
I don't know. Like I don't get as nervous coming on here as I used to, but it's because of, I've done this a few times, but there's a big difference between doing this and getting on stage in front of thousands of people. Like you're never going to get over that. That's going to happen every time.
Yeah.
I don't even get why it was discussed. Like, what was the point?
It just made no sense. I think it's why Mark wanted to throw that one in. Next day, guys, is June 9th. So we're going into that. And this one, I think, Raven, you clipped this one, didn't you? The 9th?
The 9th was me. Yep. Tom Arnold was in.
Okay. This is a short day, guys, so not a lot of clips. Number one, we knew Colton smoked the baloney pony all along. And if you guys will recall, I was going to say Colin. Colton.
Well, you're close.
I was close. Colton was the guy on that Ellen appearance that remarried Beth and Howard, where he was looking at him the whole time. And I don't believe that was a joke in the slightest. So here we go.
A revelation. We knew Colton was gay the whole time. We all guessed it. Guess what? We did too.
We knew Juan Carlos.
Guessed or hoped. Number two, Takei is an elitist Hollywood asshole. If I'm not mistaken, this is the fake Takei, right?
Yeah, he wasn't. He was in like a week before or 2 weeks before this, or yeah.
But they couldn't get him to do this.
The stuff the gay stuff they couldn't get him to do. They have fake George Takei do.
Yeah, and there's some wilding alert, guys, so I'll give you a fucking warning right away.
Well, if George finally ate Brad's ass this morning because he's really spewing a lot of shit out of his mouth.
Wow.
Excuse me. I mean, listen, I am a fine Asian gentleman, and you are a putrid Southern scoundrel.
Well, that may be true, but George, I mean, you're coming on here.
So this is supposed to be Mitch McConnell versus Takei?
Yeah.
Fake
These are
McConnell.
two fake
fake characters completely.
So we're twice removed from this being a good show at this point.
Absolutely. Why not double down on the unfunny, Bob?
Welcome to my world.
Yeah.
Out of everybody. And I just want equal time to say I'm proud of a lot of things, too. I mean, what's the problem with that? You fucking elite Hollywood asshole.
I have to say, your neck is flab.
Oh, my.
Yeah, I got a quick theory on this, that because George was too good to do the gay stuff or too old or Brad put like stoppers on him, that now they're passive aggressively hitting George with this flack of Hollywood elitist and having him go up against a fake Mitch McConnell against fake George Takei, whatever it is. And that's kind of like them kicking him in the balls after he's gone and he wouldn't do the shit they wanted.
Yeah,
maybe. And I think if he's desperate enough to be on the air and take whatever money they'll give him, probably fucking SAG minimum or something, that he will not, even if he hears it, like even if Brad, who's a fan of the show or they claimed was a fan of the show, listened, he would be so like, oh, they're mentioning George, it's all good. Even if it's shit, it's good. He wouldn't get offended. But then on the other hand, if he thought that George was above it, they might still get pissed off, and this might come back to bite Howard on the ass when Takei maybe decides I'm not coming back in. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Number 3, King of All Blacks insults Wigward. So I think this could be cool.
Now, is this the actual King of All Blacks, or does he have a impression?
No, an impressionist? No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay.
let me just give this a warm up that King of All Blacks was calling into another show. And that show called him out for being King of All Blacks on the Howard Stern show.
Yes.
So you're going to hear King of All Blacks' reaction to being called out as associated with the Howard Stern show.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Joe got tipped off that could be King of All Blacks again. King denied it.
Oh,
he
he always lies to Joe.
Not only did he lie to Joe, but he committed to the lie so much that he insulted me in this. Listen to this.
But what I'm trying
this
to
is
say
this is okay. People are calling in saying this is the King of All Blacks. Well, give me a break. Are you the King of All Blacks? Tell the truth.
No, I don't even know who that is.
Okay, let's keep going.
Well, then go ahead, Sherry, because I'm through with him.
Sound like him.
Yeah, I know.
Do you call the
Leonard
Howard
or
Stern?
Lionel?
Do you call the Howard Stern show?
I would never listen to that idiot.
That wasn't my question.
She didn't ask you whether you listened.
I said, have you ever called the Howard Stern show?
I hung up on him.
They just get rid of him.
What show was he calling into? Was he trying to prank them, Raven? I don't remember the context.
It's a show on Sirius called The Joe Madison Show.
Okay.
And obviously King of All Blacks wasn't getting enough time on Wiggy's show.
Yeah.
He also has his own YouTube channel. I'm not going to promote it, but he's always been one to call into shows. So this was just his way of getting clout. He's clout farmer or feeding his addiction for attention. Another narcissistic behavior, but on a lesser scale than Howard or Robin.
I believe, and I can't remember who it was, and it might have been Mark who sent me the clip, but somebody sent me something that I know I have it somewhere. Just it's in the fucking mishigash I have with my fucking hard drive of on either King of All Blacks show or another show. He actually takes the time to tell the host or the guest on his own show that he has to take some time to record something for the Stern show.
Yeah, you sent that to me, and I listened to it. So it was from his own YouTube show. Mm-hmm. And he had to cut it short because he had to pre-record something for Howard. Yeah. Now, what that was, we'll never know. But this was this year. It wasn't that long ago. It was probably late spring sometime.
Yeah, that's right. And what happened to spontaneity? What happened to radio? This guy was famous for just calling into the show and, presumably being on the fly, but that was a long time ago when that happened. Now it's all calculated. Are you ready to call in? Yes, I am. Boom, there it is. So anyway, I just thought that was funny. The next one, number 4, S's, C's, and X's are not your friends, Howie. So pronunciation activity here, folks.
I love these.
Lee and James Cameron and 400 other crew members.
This is fake Arnold, I believe, by the way.
Yeah.
Or a fake Arnold, maybe not the fake Arnold, because this guy sounds like a shitty fake Arnold.
So now we have Impressionists of Impressionists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting
like
even
low
further
red.
removed.
Exactly.
Yes, but I'm saying, what a sexy scene. And comical because
sexy scene. He's straight Imus. He's straight up Imus right now. Like that's his shitty Imus impression, unintentional impression. Now this part is a little dark, guys, so I apologize because we don't do Wack Packers, but like every now and then when it comes up into in the breakdown, we gotta just at least acknowledge it. Ask Napkin Ed, who calls into the show, and he's clearly fucked up, and he says he's on heroin, and it doesn't sound like he isn't. So you judge for yourselves.
Haven't heard from you in a while. How you doing, pal?
Hey, Howard, how are you doing?
All right.
I got fucked up, man. I got fucked up.
What happened?
I got heroin.
What?
Oh, what? You got heroin.
Really?
You're on it. You're on heroin right now?
Oh, dude.
Ed.
It's just fucked up. When I heard it the first time, I go, Jesus Christ, get off the phone. Like, literally dump it. Why wouldn't you dump this?
God, this show is just a fucking barrel of monkeys now, isn't it? Just, I mean, one disturbing thing after the next. Like, this is fucked up, man.
It truly was. And at the time, we all kind of believed it was real. It's so dark, and you're giving him exactly what he wants. So by putting him on the air while he's like this, you're only encouraging him, if it was real, to do it again. And we know what a dark history there is on the show with Artie and his heroin habit.
Absolutely.
So why would you go... I don't know if I recorded how long this happened. Oh, I did. 10 minutes. And then he ditched Ed to talk to the staff to find out if he needed assistance. 10 minutes he let this go on. 10 minutes too long, in my opinion. And I went to, of course, doing the research that I do, I went to Instagram and Cameo, and I looked up Ask Napkin Ed. And now he was suspended for a while back in June or July. He couldn't post, and his stuff was on lockdown. And then eventually he came back. Now, if you look ever at his cameos, wow, dark, dark, dark stuff. And if you look into his eyes, I'm saying 50-50 on the heroin thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
He looks like a total degenerate, not somebody I would ever trust in a million years. But I'm not saying that relates to the heroin, but I mean, we know how depraved and what a degenerate he is on the show and the stuff that he talks about. So
yeah,
I'm just letting you know that I looked into it a little bit, and he said he was going to start charging the prices that High Pitch Eric was charging, because he was jealous that he was charging like $15, so he upped his price to like $27. But a High Pitch Eric gets $75 for a cameo.
Fuck's sake.
So I don't know what, I haven't looked at it probably in a month now. But that was part of the thing, was pitting Ass Napkin versus High Pitch.
But Raven, to your recollection, when you were listening, because cameos, 60 seconds each clip at most of the time, maybe sometimes a little longer. It depends on the person, I suppose, and how much they pay. Did he sound similar in those clips to this, or worse or better?
He sounds a little different, but not as high pitched. I guess I'm talking about Ass Napkin Ed. Like, yeah. He still sounds like him. It's the same cadence. It's the same everything. It's just, it's a deeper sound, maybe.
Because here's the conundrum. If it's fake, it's disturbing, and if it's real, it's even more disturbing.
Right. There's no winning on this.
No, there isn't. So we're going to play it through, guys, because you want to hear what kind of asshole this is.
I really fucked up, man.
Ed, you're on heroin right now while I'm talking to you?
I'd rather not say. Yeah, I am.
Now, let me understand a bit. But this sounds dangerous to me. Are you? What do you mean you fucked up?
Jeez. I just fucked.
Like, I don't know about you guys, but this depresses me. And I have I'm not an Ass Napkin Ed. I'm not a Wack Packer fan, so I don't have any skin in the game here. I don't really give a fuck, but I am a human being, and that's the difference. And I don't, Wiggs just, what do you mean fucked up? What do you mean you fucked up? What's that TikTok in the back? Is that a grandfather clock? Does it go cuckoo when it hits 12 and 12:30? What's the story, man? Like, you prolonging this bullshit. If the guy's on heroin, hang up the fucking phone. Where's the entertainment value?
Whatever, heroin or not, he's not in a good place.
No.
Ass Napkin's always been a drunk and sort of like a pills kind of guy. Someone who maybe would take an oxy or something. Okay. But for him to say that he shot it up with a needle, I mean, that's going way beyond pill popping.
Oh, yeah.
That's a whole different level. And yeah, it is sad. There's nothing entertaining, and I've never seen an entertaining heroin addict ever in my life.
No.
Now, Artie came close, but even then it was sad. Looking back on it, knowing what I know now, those are hard to watch days when we knew he was on heroin.
Oh, yeah. And, quote unquote, recovering.
I mean, there's no other way of putting it. I fucked up.
How did you take
I'm sorry because I like you. I like the Stern Show. I like all that shit.
Ed, did you snort it or shoot it?
I'm sorry, Robin.
Did you snort it or shoot it?
What the fucking difference does it make, you fucking
cares?
idiots? Like, who cares? All this trivializing this shittiness. It's awful. When I said asshole, guys, I meant Howard, obviously. Yeah.
I will say this, though. Robin knows how to keep the conversation going as an interviewer, where Wiggy is scared shitless, because I think this caught him off guard. I don't know that he was expecting this. I don't think anything like this would have been prearranged by the staff as scripted. So they probably thought they were just getting the usual ass napkin shit talk. And here it comes out, with drug talk. So
yeah.
Not that Robin, right. It doesn't matter whether he snorted or shot it. But in the same sense, you don't hear Howard talking much.
No. God,
so she's just filling in the gaps because they know that this isn't entertaining.
Howard's probably texting.
I'd rather not say.
You can say. I want to know.
Needle.
Oh,
neither.
Dude.
Did you put it in your ass?
No, he said needle.
Oh, needle. Oh, I thought he said neither. And I'm like, how do you get it in there if you don't snort
Get it in.
Oh, yeah.
You fucking cocksucker.
Howard.
You had a heroin addict working for you for years. You don't know how it happens? Fucking idiot.
Howard immediately goes to the ass. I mean...
Yeah.
Jesus Christ almighty.
Man, I fucked
Shouldn't
up, man.
Ed? Do you need to go to a hospital, or you hear what I'm saying? Do you need to go to a hospital?
You know where I was on First Avenue, which is Bellevue. All right, so they took care of me. Is it First Avenue or First?
So one of the caveats that Ed put out after he talked about this was going to see Dr. Drew either in LA or Miami, like basically a paid vacation to go to rehab. And I'm not sure if on Ed's part this was all him or if the staff was trying to reel in Dr. Drew for some drama. Mm-hmm. There's something shady going on here on somebody's part, but I'm willing to put it on just ask Napkin Ed at this point to bring it up that he wanted Dr. Drew to help him get off heroin after his first time on it.
Interesting. Because we all know most things are bits on the show, and I have a hard time rationalizing that this one is a bit just yet, but keep it up in the air. Bob?
I just think it's funny that the Dave Grohl call cuts out, but this one goes the whole length.
Yeah.
Heroin improves connectivity. Number 6, Wig won't take responsibility for Ed.
And got me all fucked up, man.
This is Chris, and my name's Chris.
Here's what I'm going to suggest. Are you in medical trouble? Is what I'm worried about is maybe this guy OD'd or something. I know Ed. I know Ed many years. Usually by 10 a.m. he's drinking every day, and this is a new level. So
right.
I'm gonna do me a favor, Ed.
Listen, this isn't the kind of enabling I'm used to. Normally, we don't mind when you're fucked up on booze, but when it gets to heroin, that's when I draw the line.
Exactly.
Yeah. Raven?
Also, for filler content, they had to bring in Chris Wilding to mock Ass Napkin.
To mock him.
Using Ass Napkin's voice.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought it was. Jesus, that was tasteful. Fucking disgraziad Canadian. Fuck him. Sorry, guys. I'll apologize for that cocksucker.
That is funny that he's like, normally he's just destroying himself with alcohol. So this really threw me for a loop.
I don't know how to deal with this one.
Do you need help?
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't even know. You do.
You remember Drew Pinsky?
Oh, you want to go to celebrity rehab? Is that what you're...
Well, he actually offered me. He actually offered me something, and I hope he hears the show. He actually offered me to go to Florida and shit.
Maybe you better go.
Yeah. Oh, is this a way to get a vacation, Ed?
Okay, there's only a few seconds left, guys.
What is that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to handle this.
Like Drew Pinsky.
You ask Napkin Chris, you want to go to the Bahamas?
Fucking God.
Thank you.
God. Is this a way to get a vacation, she said.
Jesus Christ. Number 7. Hey, everybody. Wiggy knows a guy.
Pocket in California.
Let me call the guy who's never coached anyone through an acid trip.
Right.
This guy will buy heroin on the street and inject it into his skin, but he won't trust a vaccine.
Right.
Oh, yeah, he's an anti-vaxxer.
Yeah, that's my problem. I know other people who haven't taken the vaccine, and they're driving me nuts. These are people. The person I'm thinking of has done so many high-risk things.
I know a guy.
It's always these vague things. I know a guy, dude. It's like whatever. No age, age. So age. Nationality. Where does he live? How old is he? Is he married? Why don't you just give his fucking name? Because you don't know anybody. Fuck you.
I wish I could tell you the story of the high risk thing, and won't take.
You wish you could tell the story because you don't have one. Fucking
no.
I haven't made it up yet.
The vaccine. Because they haven't done enough research for this person. Can you imagine? I took the vaccine. Robin took the vaccine. We all took the vaccine. Nothing happened except now we can walk around a little bit freer.
Yeah, and he spent a whole fucking hour of a show complaining how he was dying, but didn't admit that he got a vaccine and that he was just suffering the symptoms of the vaccine. Fucking idiot. And then claimed, I'm sick. I don't know what it is. I don't know what happened. Fucking prick.
Oh, yeah.
Number 8, spinster slobbin, too lazy.
People,
would you say the same thing about yourself?
Get out of here.
Yes, she does.
I
she
don't
agrees
want
with
a long-term relationship, and I have.
Do you think you're not capable?
But you're actually. I don't want to. I wouldn't even make.
Do you think
effort.
you're not capable of it?
I must not be because it seems like an effort to me.
Do you think, Robin, you could be a guest on the Benji show and end this misery of mine?
Well,
it seems like an effort.
Seems like an effort. Yeah.
Well, how old is she now? How old is Robin?
A year older than Howard, as far as I know. So 68, going on 69.
I mean, hasn't the relationship
train
kind of gone? I mean,
it's left the station a long time ago. Well, I mean, yeah, relationships. It's funny when I listen to the old clips. It seemed like that Mr. X thing was the only kind of tether she had to reality, and after that, it was all like all these dating shit. I mean, Dennis Rodman date, Clarence Clemens wanted her. All these people came in, whatever. And Raven, and was it you that postulated she might actually be
lesbian?
Batting for the same team.
Martina, Simona, and I just checked. She's 69. 69.
Yeah. Lovely. Jesus, she's way too much effort. Too much comes with the dinner. Effort. Pardon the expression.
Oh my God, yeah.
Number 9. This is the last clip for the day, guys. Tom Arnold glitch.
And we travel. I mean, Chris is from Wisconsin. I'm from Iowa. We go to switch off football games. Very close. When he came out to do my television show or my HBO specials,
I can't give it too much shit. That sounds like, yeah. I'm sure Tom has that glitch effect on his phone. But there wasn't much in that interview to go through, was there, Raven?
No, that's the thing. Like, Tom's been in so many things. And there's so many great questions that Wiggy could have asked him, but he didn't. He kind of dwelled on Arnold a bit. He talked about sobriety, and he just, how many wives he had. He kind of passive-aggressive ball kicked him that way, being on his 4th or 5th wife and how much money. And he has to work because he's given away all his money in divorces. So
yeah, absolutely.
It wasn't that great of an interview. I mean, I like Tom Arnold in Trailer Park Boys. I know a lot of people don't like that. It's white trash humor, but I mean, there are some things he's done. He was with Snoop Dogg when he did it, and he's he's got a career that's still going. So Tom Arnold is another kind of thing where Wiggy doesn't have the same long-lasting time span on TV and movies, where Tom's done both. And, you know, he had the whole Roseanne thing. He's managed to stay in the public eye as like a B-level, C-level person, but I question his sobriety as much as he talks about it. He always sounds wound up. I don't know what it is, if it's like something over the counter or a prescription, but there's something about the guy that just kind of worries me. Like his heart is going to give out because he's always so like high octane. Yeah. Well, you said it, not me, but okay. I'll go.
I will forego the, you know, inevitable QF Tom Arnold. I'll just presume that we'll not get the Tom Arnold QF interview in the future. Not that I think I don't hate the guy. I just know that he's been a little too present, and I've heard him in too many podcasts. So he doesn't have that many stories to tell. With some of them are great stories, but once you've heard them, you've heard them. It's kind of like Artie. Guys, believe it or not, we are now in June 14th. We have hit mid-month, and thanks to Sam for clipping these. The first one is called "Who Wants a Woman's Ass?"
Twitter feed, I don't know which one it is, but he's been tweeting pictures without attribution. In other words, it was this picture of a girl with her whole ass out.
Yeah.
Very sexy girl with a big tuchus, big meaty tuchus.
I fucking hate when he uses that Yiddish words, and I don't mind Yiddish, but that tuchus, really, like, because if he says ass, it disgusts him. If he can get around it, if it's tuchus.
And he said highlight of the week, something like that, on his Twitter feed, and it was just this woman.
I think he's talking about Ronnie, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, Ronnie ran Hot Chick of the Week.
Yeah,
and he talked about this woman, Zena, who ran it for him. So, she would allow certain things to go up, and that's what we're listening to, is what she picked.
Right.
Who was in a thong with her ass out.
Ass streaks.
But but it was weird because we were like, well, what's in it for the woman? He doesn't like say where he got it from. And, the whole idea is like maybe Ronnie would push some people to her account.
Okay, just a little bit more.
Right.
But, but he was very taken with this one girl, and he's just like highlight of the week. And it's a girl with a big meaty tuchus. It looked like two orbs with the thong stuck up the asshole.
When he talks about, I know why Sam clipped this. Now, the longer, I think the longer you hear it, the more you get it. It's just, he's disgusted. The way he describes a woman's ass is like he's describing some kind of cadaver.
Yeah.
Like her ass is hanging out. Asses don't hang. Unless you're 90 maybe, or if you're my 600-pound life or something.
Yeah, I don't even get what he's saying here. What's wrong with seeing an ass in a thong? Like, it seems, I don't even get where the issue is with this.
It's like Dracula talking about garlic with disdain.
Right. Yeah,
as the woman right now, I'm going to say I'm fine with seeing a woman's ass hanging out. I'm sure it was well-rounded. It wasn't a fat, flabby one. I'm sure it was muscly or, whatever you guys like. But I'm not offended by an ass. I'm not offended by tit. I'm not offended.
You wouldn't describe it like some guy, describing a crime scene going, fucking labia was folded over like the deli counter at Schwab's, and the fucking gunt was out, and he has such disgust over the female form. Like, this is kind of why I say, Bob and Deborah, please come over to the dark side, because it's inevitable. But again, the only thing we're lacking is that fucking smoking gun, smoking a few things smoking. But let's finish this one.
And I said to the guys, like, does she go somewhere? She's on a yacht, and does she like sit on the couches on the yacht? I mean, who wants that ass
in
on
that outfit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
what is she supposed to do? Levitate?
Who would want a chick with a nice ass in a thong? I mean, why would you want that around? God forbid.
This next clip is funny. It's called Nuclear Holocaust Thwarted by Ronnie's Tweets. And what happened was they had some kind of, the test pattern they used to show on TV whenever this is a test. This has been a test of the emergency broadcast system. So you hear this tone suddenly cut into the broadcast. That is clearly not something they intended.
If somebody follows you on Twitter
Oh.
What the hell was that?
What was that?
That was weird. Is that me? You got it? Okay. They got it.
Okay.
Oh, fuck, that was awesome. I just almost had a heart attack.
That's right. I was like, uh-oh, this is the big one.
Here we go. You know what that is?
Because in the 80s, in early Saturday morning cartoons, I'd see that all the time. I'd see that little. This has been if this were a real emergency, this is the broadcast you'd see, because these are all running out of the States, most of the cartoons, and this is the height of the Cold War, so we were waiting for the Star Wars fucking battle to happen every day on CNN. There'd be some big Star Wars satellite shooting down nukes, like it was this graphic. Anyway,
DEFCON 5.
Exactly. It was just
what caused that? I'm still confused. What caused that to happen there?
No idea.
Yeah.
No. It was. I've never heard it before on the show. That was the first. I'm so glad Sam clipped it. Great job, Sam.
It was Fred. Oh shit! Fuck. I'm getting docked from the Turk.
Nuclear war.
I'm sitting under my desk now and putting my, head between my legs.
What I'm saying, Ron, if someone follows you on Twitter,
right,
they are getting, after you look at all these different sites, you're taking the best of the best and putting it on yours. So in a way, you save them a lot of time from looking at, 8s. You're just getting all 10s, right?
Yeah. Well, it's just what, I feel I want to put up. That
we need a 71-year-old to endorse our arses. Number 3, rest home Twitter feed.
What about?
I even had to turn the computer on in the morning now by myself.
And you also
I
have
get on the air by
day.
myself now. What's that?
You have Titty Tuesday, Hump Day, and Who Cares Friday.
No, and Thong Thursday, dude. Don't forget about that's the best one.
Thong Thursday. Thong Thursday. Okay.
Thong Thursday. That's where I got that picture of the girl on the yacht from Thong Thursday.
Right.
So now you go through all of those.
Fuck's sake. And before the last breakdown, Strange Fruit, I believe we titled it, we discussed how he was shitting on Ronnie, like endlessly, like the leaving of Ronnie from the show. And this is another week of that. You'd think, didn't I just hear this last week? Well, you did, and you're going to hear more of it, sadly. Number 4, Howard's monologue on Ronnie's fame.
I'm worried about, if I may put a disclaimer on Ronnie's advice. Ronnie became a big shot a couple of years ago. Once I brought him into the show, when he used to just be my driver, he wasn't on the show. He used to complain to me. I don't know why Ralph.
Nobody was writing him about their ankle break.
No. And then when I brought him in to the show and put him on the air regularly, it blew up. Ronnie's fame became very big. Then he got in with all the guys at Scores at the time.
And
aside from certain other people, he's gotten more mileage out of Ronnie being on the air than just about anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So would anybody really complain about Ronnie anything, like getting anything off of the show, considering, you wanted it this way? He wanted him, the whole Petcock saga, all the fucking, every time there's interns, a block party shit, Scores stuff, speeches he made over the years.
I think Wiggy knows that he's gotten more drops and more content out of Ronnie than anybody else. JD,
Absolutely.
John Hine, Bowie, any of these guys. I mean, Wilding is a close second, but that's because he does every voice in the world badly, but he does it. And so with Ronnie, it's still with Ronnie's leaving me. Ronnie's going to Vegas. Ronnie's going to be awake every time they're live. And he's going to be available. He's going to get up at 4 in the morning or 3:30 in the morning to be on the show at 4 when they come on at 7. So I never understood why he had to bash Ronnie so bad. He doesn't want to see him in person. So why does it matter where he is?
Because
if
that's NPD. That's
available.
Narcissistic personality disorder. It's control. It's abandonment. It's all of those things. You don't go quietly from one of those people. You go taking some lashes on the way. I mean, Howard's kind of in a situation where he can't be completely aggressive because it is Ronnie's age and time to go.
Yeah.
But still, this is such a great example of what I talk about with the abandonment issues that go along with NPD is just even though they don't see each other, they're not a part of it. That's how tight of a control they need to have on the people around them. And Ronnie is a source of supply to a certain degree, but if he's that tight with Ronnie and that stiff in his need for him, imagine what Beth goes through. This is straight NPD. This is how they operate. If they even sense that you're going to abandon them, even though it's your complete right, they're going to make sure that you get fucked up on your way out. It's what's going to happen.
Bob, I have a question for you. Now that he's coming back and he's going to be on the radio again, and Ronnie's going to be in Vegas, do you believe it's going to be worse than before, or the same, or not as bad? The way he treats Ronnie for abandoning him.
I think it could possibly be worse. I don't know. I don't know what kind of coping mechanism he's going to work at. I feel like the show is going to have a lot of different energy and feel than it did before, because I think that they're going to start scaling back whatever budget they've given him to this point. And this break was his opportunity to plan and create the show with this reduced budget. So then you have this interesting dynamic going on with what Ronnie's pay actually is and how much does Howard actually need him and rely on him at this point. And if Ronnie is just straight up getting a fee to be on the show and Howard knows that, that's going to set up a different dynamic. I mean, if it's the same dynamic that it is now, I have a feeling that it'll be worse. And I think Howard will probably try to devalue whatever he's doing out there and try to chip away at whatever he has going on, and will do his damnedest to just abuse them. I mean, flat out.
I would hazard to say that he's going to get treated worse as well, because he is leaving him. That's going to be, and when he calls, he's going to be reminded, here's Ronnie in Vegas, and that's just going to stick in his craw right off the bat. And then also, ultimately, he's being deprived of a target more often than he'd like to be. And so anytime, they can't just have him in any time. I'm sure he's going to have to prearrange, like, look, you're going to call in on Wednesdays or every other Tuesday or something. And they'll have it set up. Of course, it'll all be prearranged bullshit and unfunny as obvious as normal. But it's still in the back of his mind. He's going to say, we're paying him to appear. Now he's a different kind of employee.
Exactly.
He doesn't need me anymore. So fuck him. That's so the abandonment thing. Yeah.
My thinking is this, or my question is this: are the staff getting paid per bit, per airtime, or do they have an annual salary?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Was it.
If I were to guess, I think that they're going to take all those people off salary and they're going to start paying them per bit and per an appearance, would be my guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's more of a Lord of the Flies situation as to who can get the most time on air and get the most material. And they know what Wiggy likes. So it's going to be gay stuff. It's going to be ass stuff. It's going to be Wack Pack bullshit. Or going, like Wolfie, who goes off to stupid conventions. But thanks to COVID, a lot of those conventions aren't happening. But they did this summer, I have a feeling, because regulations were loosened up. But I'm not sure. I don't know. Wendy, I don't have an update on her. We'll get to her later in the breakdowns. But she's got a lot of craziness in her life. So one of those things we'll never know.
I'm just going to be curious to see what the dynamic is, because we've already seen this falling off with them, where so much of the staff element was someone ratting someone out, beforehand. Right. And then now no one's there, and I don't really know how much anyone knows what's going on with it. It's like very peripheral, like someone will rat on someone's Twitter feed, but that's whatever, that's not that compelling of radio. And then on top of that, the person has time to prepare for all that. And then if they're being booked as talent at this point, that's a whole new dynamic. I just think the show is going to be fucking terrible. I mean, even worse than it is. Like, I think they're having them scale back quite a bit. You know, I think they signed that contract while the show was going on. They gave them a buffer with the budget. The staff got informed that the budget's getting reduced after this period of time. That's when you start to see some of them leave. And I don't foresee him finishing the contract, honestly.
You mentioned that before. Raven, yeah, please.
Well, I agree that the staff knows if they post anything on Twitter that they're going to be fodder for the show. So most of them probably don't want their personal lives brought into it, or any partying or any such thing that they can get bashed down for. Only good stuff. So we're going to have Jason Kaplan, how much weight he lost, right? My friend that had the surgery that we talked about, he said he's guessing that he'll have 100 pounds lost by the time they come back to the show. And he also predicts that he will get a divorce by the end of the year because he'll think he can get better than Janice, his wife. So
wow,
those are two things to look for.
But that's not like that whole storyline, him losing weight. Like, that's what I'm saying. The difference is before they would rat and say, hey, Sal's wife is texting a guy. Or they would rat and say, this guy snitched on this person, or Richard cried because someone sent him something. You know, that was funny. But Jason losing weight, or Ronnie had a girl's thong on his Twitter, I mean, this isn't that compelling as stuff. Like, that's why I don't know how long this element with, like, features of the staff are going to go, because they're just not that interesting in general. I mean, he beat the fuck out of Shuley over moving, but that whole thing wasn't that interesting. Like, it was just whatever.
My thing is that JD is the dumbest, and that he will get caught for telling somebody on the staff, like Will or John Hine or Bowie, some stupid night out he had where, like, when he was drinking the Pappy Van Winkle for $100 that he was getting free, and getting blackout drunk, and all the crazy shit that he might be doing, smoking and drinking, that might become more of a regular thing. And then he'll become worried about, I know it was talked about that they want to veer away from Wack Packers, but that's like a big crux of the show is 30%, maybe 20% as of late. Wack Packers, like Tan Mom's still around, Jeff the Drunk still around, Ass Napkin, High Pitch. High Pitch got read the riot act before break because he was not contributing. He was not answering calls or emails. And he wouldn't work with Wolfie. He only wanted to work with Shuley, and Shuley was gone. Yeah. So the closest one that he would work with was Sal.
Yeah, that's coming up, actually. Yeah. That's one of the clips for sure. Now, the thing is, what I also realized there, what's one of the key things missing? Okay, the third mic. Yes, they need actually a third and fourth mic, and just get rid of Robin, to be brutally honest, and get rid of
Howard too.
Yeah, but when he used to do like movie reviews, he'd talk about movies, talk about TV shows. He talks about nothing important, nothing anybody cares about. And that's been for years now. And it's one thing to say, "Oh, look, I'm not interested in new movies. I'm not interested in this." But if you're some fucking old duffer and you're interested in your Metamucil to make sure you fucking have floating shits, that's your discussion. Why don't you talk about the skid marks? Why don't you talk about like you're talking about everything that interests you that could only interest someone on their way out the fucking door? And so Jason losing weight, no one gives a shit. If Jason gets divorced, everybody cares. Everyone wants to hear the dirt. They were desperate to get Tank. JD's wife, grifter / wife / lesbian, double agent. They wanted her on the show because she's got such a social media presence, or did. I don't follow it anymore, but and she is smart enough, I think, to not want to be fodder on the fucking air because she was a fan. She was just a grifting fan, and she just doesn't want to be made fun of for free for content for some fucking multi-millionaire, like the way, we did that exploited episode. The whole point.
Exactly.
Well, JD refused to let her come on the air. Yeah. He got in front of that. It wasn't her that said no. It was him. He did not want his wife on the show.
I'd say it was both of them because he doesn't seem like he has the balls to open a door for someone, let alone make a decision for his wife. And so I'd say it's mutual. I'd say him knowing the show, saying, "Look, it's bad enough. I'm already on the show. They're going to make fun of me. That's just part of the show. But we don't both have to be fodder for this fucking cheapskate asshole."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the dynamic here because you don't have the peer pressure element either. And you're able to kind of manicure what's known, what isn't known, what you're going to discuss. Like, the industry that I'm in with this is probably a good way to put it. Like, I work with some medical clinics. If someone leaves the clinic without paying a copay or deductible or whatever, the chances of us recovering that money decreases 50% the second they walk out the door. So in a way, it's like the way that I view this show is everybody's out the door already. So
Yes.
like there's such an element with having that person there, with being able to pressure them, with someone overhearing something, with someone coming there every day and just saying something. Like, I don't really see value in keeping the staff at this point if you don't have that in-person pressuring element, because that's where they got so much of the good content from. And they like, none of this shit I've heard with Ralph or Ronnie or whatever, like, this isn't that fucking entertaining. It's stupid shit,
It's kind of like how the mob when they were in Vegas, and like you see in the movie Casino, Joe Pesci goes out to Vegas because he can get away with a bunch of shit and not have the bosses find out because they're too far away.
Exactly.
And they can have ears and eyes and ears, and eventually they do find out. But for a while there, he has almost carte blanche, like a dead zone, where he can do whatever he likes and be a cowboy as long as he's taking care of business back home. So it's the same. You're right. There's a good parallel there with the staff. And if they're no longer in studio, and what we're going to hear, they're going to try to peer pressure High Pitch Eric and guilt him into doing the show regularly. But again, we talked about it many times on the show. If he's doing cameo and he's making money hand over fist, because $75 for a cameo for that fucking piece of shit, that's a lot of Sara Lee cakes. And just one call will feed him for a fucking day. I think at least a couple meals. Raven.
Fun fact. High Pitch makes 6 figures on Cameo.
Wow.
6 figures. I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
We're editing and we're doing 2 hours of stuff. Does anybody want our Cameo? I think not yet.
No.
Anyway. Yeah. How much should
Gary
I charge?
Puckett wants mine, but that's it.
Okay, fair enough. So let's try to clip through some of these.
Yeah, NASCAR, and he became a playboy. He really did. That's when Let's Fuck Some Whores started happening and all this shit. He got a big head.
Wife shit.
Right. Yeah, enough of this wife shit. He got a big head. Fame went to his head. He won't admit it. Fame went to your head. Stop it. You know what I'm talking about.
I never said it didn't.
Okay. He became a very, let's say, a dapper Ronnie. Girls, at scores would throw themselves all over him. They started.
All of a sudden, he was Pierce Brosnan as 007. Dapper. Ronnie. He's on the front of GQ. Dapper.
Oh my
It's
God.
almost. It reminds me of when Howard goes like, he looks gorgeous. He's a gorgeous man.
Yeah.
And then he said in that clip that Mark Hess sent, he said, "No man says gorgeous."
No, I've never said that about another man once.
No straight man says that.
Girls say that.
And they were really affectionate toward him. And it was a whole thing going on. And then he would hang out with Lonnie over at Lonnie's place, and the girls would be with the girls and the girls and the girls. Then he started opening up different strip clubs and the girls thought Ronnie was the man. So Ronnie got, now when he gives you advice, I'm just putting a disclaimer on Ronnie's advice. When he says, you know what you got to do? She's not fucking you. Go out and get some new pussy. Oh
God, nothing more cringeworthy than his low rent Dice Clay version. Although let's be fair, Ronnie did totally ape Dice Clay, his whole persona.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is old. This is old news. I brought Ronnie on the show, and he turned into a thing. I mean, I heard this over 10 years ago. Like
he's been saying it regularly every time there's a dressing down. For him, it's got to be, I'm gonna tell the story once again of how I built fucking Ronnie up, and I made him, and it's almost like this mafia.
Yeah.
You're like mafia thing, like I put you where you are, and you treat me with such disrespect. You don't even think to call me Godfather. So I'm gonna play the next one. It's called "Rubbing the Magic Genie Lamp."
Driver.
Oh my God!
His life changed when he met. When I met Ronnie, his life changed, and I'm going to tell you something. Ronnie's not the only one. Whoever comes into my life lives a great life, and Ronnie can tell you.
What?
Whoever comes in now, listen. When you know me, it's like having a magic genie. It's like
I'm not sure if it's a genie or a fairy.
I'll go for the fairy.
I knew I'd have use for that fucking drop.
Listen, these NPD people, they fucking will hold shit over your head. I mean, he's still holding it over his head. This is why if anyone's out there still listening about NPD stuff, never accept any favors from them. Don't accept anything from them. You will never hear the end of it. We hear it right now. Whatever money Ronnie earned, he earned it. Ronnie's giving him free material online. Ronnie was flying all over the fucking place. Ronnie bought those fucking limos. Ronnie did those appearances. Like, whatever money Ronnie got via Howard, he earned. He wasn't getting checks sent to him. He fucking was working. You know?
He put in hours featuring, doing whatever, plugging, just by going there and getting the show, rubbing elbows with certain people, whatever, people that wanted to get close to Howard. Did he use Howard? Yeah, of course he did. But did he not do those hours? Of course not. He did. You're right. He put in those appearances. He did the block parties, but it was all schlepping. It's essentially schlepping.
He used Howard, but Howard used him. How many hours of free radio has he given him? I mean, seriously, classic shit too.
Yeah.
Well, it also cost Ronnie his first marriage to Bonnie.
Sure.
So thanks, Bonnie. Hope you're doing well. Just like Allison. Yeah, you're out there. You're free. Do what you want. Have your life now, because you couldn't have it when they were on the show or related to the show.
No.
And Ronnie deserves every cent he got.
Yeah,
I've never been a Ronnie fan, but I've become more a fan as of late after all his beatdowns. I wasn't a fan when he was a dick going to Lonnie's Scores or whatever club.
Ricky Man.
I mean, I used to chuckle at his stupid phrases and all that shit. Like, let's fuck some whores and all that. Okay, great.
All that dapper stuff.
The dapper stuff. The dapper era. Yes.
Dapper.
Well, I mean, he's very
the
suave.
opposite of dapper. I think Howard knows what that means.
Can you imagine Ronnie at finishing school? So anyway, so this rant, it just reminded me very much of, and I should have had the drop ready, but I prank no one else. It's my world, and I'm just giving you a taste of it. And when you get out of my world, it's torture. And that's one we'd have to go into another time, because that whole rant, there was no funny about that one. That was just him unabashedly saying, fuck you. This is King Baby's world, assholes. Get used to it.
Ronnie got his.
Ronnie rubbed my lamp, and he got wishes beyond his wildest dreams.
I didn't rub your lamp.
Trust me. When Ronnie forget Ronnie. Look at JD's life. Case closed. Where do you think that kid would be? I'll give you.
He'd probably still be on poverty wages like he is now.
Yeah. Well,
like what would he be? He maybe tech support somewhere. Maybe he'd be, I don't know, fucking, I don't know.
The only reason we know him is because you brought him on air to beat the shit out of him.
Beat the shit out of him and get content out of him. Absolutely. It's funny. If you gave him, let's say, $100 an appearance on the show, he'd be better off, infinitely better off. Like every hour you spent on the show live doing, he'd have a Mercedes.
There is no job in this world that JD could do legitimately and make anywhere close to what he's making on this show. This is his last chance. If he doesn't make money on this show or come up with some way to make content and get paid per diem or per bit, he's got nothing. What is this kid going to do? There's no Napoleon Dynamite wannabes needed in this world.
He'd make the starvation wages he's making in New York somewhere else. They'd just be a different figure. And he'd have to move somewhere cheaper. I don't know. Or he'd live with his mother or something. But he'd probably be emotionally better, like more healthy than working at that fucking pit of scorpions and vipers.
Well, wherever JD goes, I hope they have interns who can offer up panties for him to sniff, by the way.
Yeah. Creepola.
The alternate reality. JD be working at the same meat packing plant that Tom Arnold's sister works at. Except Tom Arnold's sister would be his boss.
Fucking hell.
Whoa, why
shitting on Tom Arnold's?
Just the whole thing. Like, the kid got hired to do something and he did it, right? Yeah. I mean, like, this is what's so tough about people with MPDs. It's like, we can speculate about what he would do or what he wouldn't do, but the fact of the matter is, this is why there's never a 100% handshake with these people. It's like, dude, this is what you hired me to do, is it not? You brought me on your show, did you not? I didn't ask to come on there. Like, I held up my end of the bargain. Like, why are you devaluing everything that I did and you're shitting on me right now? Like, I held up my end of everything.
The next clip is called Shazam Howard Turns Lives Around.
When you get involved with me, it's like rubbing the magic genie lamp. I should walk around in those pantaloons with the genie hat and the little vest, like Sinbad. I should walk
that little
like Sinbad
with
the little vest.
And the shoes with bells on them.
Yeah, with those shoes that like curve up.
Yes.
I bet Ralph has that outfit.
Big time.
That I've changed. The people and I'm not calling anyone a loser, but let's just say.
You just did.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
You're calling everyone a loser.
Yeah, so basically.
I took losers with loser lives and turned it around to the point that they're living their greatest dream.
It's funny. I just said you'd be a loser without me. Then I said, I'm not calling anybody a loser. They said, I took losers who had loser lives. He did what's that? 180, 360. Was it
180?
480. What's an extra 180?
360 is a circle. 180 is a half circle.
No, but then you add another 180 because he did 3 180s back to back to back. I know 720 is a full double rotation.
I'm not saying you're a loser.
Yeah,
but,
540.
I took a whole bunch of losers. Who's he talking about? Right? There's an expression that I heard a while ago. It was when you marry into money, you earn every cent. Anyone that's made money with Howard Stern has earned every fucking cent that they got. I guarantee you that. Nothing comes easy with these people. People had to grind. People had to make a lot of sacrifice. Like, I don't agree with what he's saying at all. I just don't. I don't know who's living their wildest dream. I mean, I guess Robin did well. I don't know.
Somebody just posted the buoy from the what was it, New Year's Rotten Eve, where he does the Baba Booey in the gorilla suit and he's dancing, and like you'd think that Booey doesn't deserve that mansion or whatever, that Connecticut place that he just sold. He deserved more than that for what he did to himself. But he's also an idiot, so fuck him.
The whole loser thing is just a projection alert for Wiggy seeing himself as a loser. He is. He's
the king of the
socially,
losers.
Emotionally, physically, like every possible way. Biologically, he's as a father.
Yeah.
As a broadcaster. I mean, his show, like, people are making videos on YouTube now of why I quit Stern. 17 reasons why. I watched one today that was posted. I loved it. It's everything we talk about.
Yeah.
It's everything we've mentioned. And this person was like legit. Like, they showed their face. They gave every reason, and they gave examples of everything why. And I feel for them. I wanted to reach out and be like, hey, you should come to our podcast
You might enjoy
and
it.
Facebook page.
What's that expression when Howard was born? They slapped his mother.
Yes.
Because of how ugly he was. The next one, number 7, I'm a genius. Reminder.
Happy for that, though.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying the truth.
They all give you great content for your show.
No, I'm a genius who pulls content out of you. I take someone like you and make you interesting.
Exactly, but you still have to.
If you went on the radio by yourself, we gave you a radio show. We saw what happened.
JD can't.
Interesting. If you heard it, if you had to listen carefully, but Ronnie said you still had to have us.
You know, that Ronnie's making the exact point we just talked about. All these people gave you content for your show, bud. Yep. No one had a free ride here. We were all, while you were making $1 million an episode, it was off our backs. So you can fucking chill on that. Yeah, I'm glad he said that. I haven't heard any of these. So
yeah, this is first time on the breakdown. Raven?
That's a great clip. And I was pointing at Bob because that's so up his alley. The way he takes all the credit for the success of the staff. And the staff is given blood, sweat, and tears, no lie, with prostate karaoke, with everything. Their wives, like Sal, pretty much almost had a divorce because of what he went through with the 143. And I mean, it's just amazing how he does not recognize these losers, as he calls them, his staff, and how they still sit there and take it. But again, we know they have no other outlet for a career.
Well, the thing is, when he does die, and most of us hope it's very soon. If he is buried somewhere, I guarantee within a week there will be like a World War I trench of dirt excavated from the level of urine emitted on his fucking grave by employees. They'll be taking kegs. They'll be shotgunning fucking pints just to piss faster, stronger, harder, to make the stream like a fucking sandblast. Anyway, go ahead.
We'll be fending them off with swords here, trying to be like, no, you're not next. We got Jason coming on. We got Ralph. Fight? No, back off.
Yeah.
Sword fight.
Well, it's again this like nuance. I didn't want to get too deep into the NPD stuff, but again, it's just like no one can get any credit. And he's like, well, the only reason why you guys were good was because I got it out of you. It's like they can't give anybody anything. They can't give you fucking anything. Like, anybody that's listening to this right now that's dealt with someone with NPD or knows about it, like they already know that was the most NPD thing that was said so far this show, because it's just like you can never have a win. You can never have a win with them. There's always got to be a devaluement at the end of it.
So the next clip, guys, is from, I guess, your favorite berry-faced queer calling in because he's got a double team Ronnie, but Ronnie can handle both of them.
The most amount of time you spent in the summer in Vegas? I'm just curious.
And he said this in the last breakdown, talking about the weather and how he's going to fucking hate it. So it's all just bullshit devaluement. And he's got to get Ralph in for fucking reinforcements because King Baby can't fight alone.
Couple of weeks.
That's not true. In the summer?
Not true.
A couple of weeks. When was this?
A week and a half in July and a week in August. The same summer.
Okay.
And what were you doing there?
A lot of time.
Why were you there?
Just
why were you there?
Visiting.
Visiting what? Staying in one of the hotels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at that time, staying in a hotel.
Who gives a shit?
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't have a house to stay in, and I didn't want. I don't impose on friends to stay at their houses.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So I stayed at a hotel.
Okay.
I hear you. I never do that.
I just stay at Sam Simon's and John Stamos' house for weeks at a time. Never contribute a fucking dime.
Fucking Ronnie is done with them.
Yeah.
Ronnie's pissed right there for sure.
Right. Like, for example, this Wednesday we're going to be interviewing Richie Wilson again, and he's good friends with Ronnie, and we know and we love Richie. We know he's not going to tell tales out of school with regard to Ronnie, but I guarantee him and Ronnie, when they get together, they're going to be hugging, they're going to be having fucking beers, they're going to have a great fucking time, and maybe even meet in Vegas, just to fucking celebrate him getting away from that fucking Hydra, from the fucking the 100-armed tentacled fucking beast, from fucking Medusa. You know what I mean?
Do you think they're going to get together and talk about Olivia Jade and how happy they are that hot guys aren't aging well?
An adventure.
Do you think that's something they talk about?
Colton's new boyfriend.
Exactly. They won't talk about Jazz because Jazz put on the pounds, but they'll work on the next trans sensation. Number 10, Ronnie slam on Berryface Queer
for Winter.
Right.
Ronnie, listen to what Howard's saying. He
can't. He's already bought a house.
Too hot.
Too late now. He didn't listen to anybody.
Listen to what Howard's saying, okay? I don't have to. I can do what I want. You can do what you want.
He's got white skin. He's got skin that's almost.
And I'm going to go right into the next one, number 11, FEMA Robin Mission Ronnie Rescue.
We're going to have to do, Howard. We're going to have to go rescue Ronnie.
No, you won't.
It's going to be
don't come near my fucking house.
An emergency situation.
No.
Can I ask
We're
you
going to have
something?
to send in people.
Don't even
to
come.
get
Don't
Ronnie
even think
out
about
of
coming near my house, Robin. Don't even. Don't come to rescue.
He's not. Believe me. Hey, Ronnie.
Yeah, you can hear it in his voice. Ronnie's just completely tapped out.
He's pissed.
Yeah,
he's done with them. Yeah.
Frustrated beyond all belief.
Oh yeah, and this is like, and he knows. I still think it was stupid of him to come on even for this. And I would have told him. I would have just told him, "No, I'm leaving. What are you gonna do? Fire me? Who are you gonna kill the fucking time with at this point? Unless he's in breach of contract or some bullshit."
Exactly. He's probably getting paid. I mean, I'm sure, and he probably needs the money. I don't know. I think everybody on Howard's staff, I just assume they all need the money. So
maybe. Next one is called Double Middle Fingers to King Baby.
What did I do?
Are you so stubborn that you'll say, fuck, all these guys, they're going to make fun of me if I move somewhere else, blah, 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 if I admit that I hate it? Or are you going to be smart and say to yourself, you know what? I do have limited years. I'm not spending my life.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm selling this place and I'm moving. What are you just going to be? I think you're going to be so stubborn about this that you're never, ever going to move, no matter how miserable you are. Am I correct?
You know what? I just realized we're doing this as a breakdown, but this could actually double as another episode of the So Long Farewell series.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Because I mean, all the elements are there. You're gonna feel miserable when you're there. You're gonna hate the weather. You're gonna be bored. What the fuck are you gonna do when you're off the show? Like I made you. I did all this. You're giving this up. Fuck you. And
you're leaving.
Yeah. And I mean, it's almost like those TV movies where the young parents of young kids, like Kramer versus Kramer, except the kids whining and bitching like, no, I hate you. You're leaving mommy and daddy. Mommy, you're leaving daddy, whatever bullshit. It sounds very similar to that. And that's his intelligence level. That's his emotional EQ, maybe 11, maybe 9 or 10. I mean, to say he's the 13-year-old is, I think, is actually giving him too much credit. Raven?
The whole month of June was spent putting Ronnie on the spot about how bad he's going to hate it in Vegas.
Yep.
How he's abandoned Howard. Mm-hmm. How he's not equipped to handle life out there or being retired, and what's he going to do with his time. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Wiggy's fine taking 10 weeks off during the summer, 68 days, by the way.
Yeah.
Of vacation, talking to cats and answering Beth questions about what is like the worst thing you've eaten in the past 10 years. Like, come on, really? This is how he compares Ronnie having no life? And you look at Wiggy, and Wiggy's life is way worse than Ronnie's. It's pathetic.
Oh, yeah, they're miserable people, and they don't do anything.
You could be in a velvet cage, but you're still in a fucking cage. And all the trappings, I mean, Howard's house, actually, his house is, the one in New York might be all right, but the fucking Hamptons, whatever, the one in Florida, they look like mausoleums. They do look like something you fucking put your dead body in when you're done, and you just want people to constantly give tribute to your dead fucking cold ass corpse. And they're not warm, they're not inviting, they're very like shitty middle Bavaria castle. I don't know.
Insane.
Yeah.
It's just all so insane. And I'm so glad we're doing this to enlighten people and let them see, like, this is the life of a billionaire. And this is the happiest he'll get, is putting down his loser employees for having a life and retiring in Vegas.
Yeah.
This is really like a look into advanced aged NPD. And you like, because again, I feel like so many people project themselves. It's only natural. We assume people are like us. It's a psychological phenomena. And we just kind of view Howard as a hyper asshole, but
right.
It's like, really, you're like, look, this is a real condition. Like, you're talking about a 70-year-old man yelling at another 70-plus-year-old man because he just retired and left. I mean, it makes no logical sense. You see how deep-rooted these issues really, truly are. I mean,
yeah.
This should not be an issue. Ronnie is of retirement age. This should not be a problem. And you see how even at Howard's age, he's still struggling with these issues that go back to childhood, very young.
Bob, can you think offhand, and Raven, you too, can you think offhand of a longer term, similarly high profile case where you've seen someone behave like this? In a similar stature of life, like late 60s, rich, but completely insulated, and out of touch with what the rest of the world. I mean, they're billionaires. Howard Hughes is the only one in memory where you could say this person had similar qualities. I can't think of any sports figure that has had this long example of NPD displayed for public consumption.
What's so fascinating to me and why I continue to do this is, to me, Howard is just so unprecedented, and this level of access in real life time to watch this happen. I've never seen anything like it. And I've studied a lot of psychology, and I've been in this a long time. I've never seen anything like what's going on right now with him. Never.
I looked up Howard Hughes' age when he died, and it was 70.
Yep.
So it really is the only comparison we have to someone who's so eccentric, yet so introverted, and yet has to be in the public spotlight, if that makes sense, like in an extroverted way. But their social life or their personal life is not up for grabs. It's only what they want us to see, which is Beth's Instagram. Or back in the day, Howard Hughes used to go out with movie stars and be seen in the paparazzi and the magazines. So it was very controlled. That's the same thing they both have in common, is how they only let us see certain parts of their life. They don't show off their extravagancy in their mansions, in their limos, in their daily life. I mean, we just see them in the same old clothes, same old Skechers, same old whatever, Tommy John stuff. That's like, I'm sorry, Sean John. That Tommy John. I got too much baseball in the head. Sorry.
That's all right.
But all we see are what they want us to see, which is, nothing fancy and trying to be normal. And it's just not. It's sad. I need it to end.
So there's been one other case, one other person where they've had a lot of media exposure and they had a really severe personality disorder. And this kind of reminds me of it in some ways, but there was a police officer out here in Bolingbrook, Illinois, named Drew Peterson, and his wife went missing. I don't know if you guys ever heard about that. I know that it did get some national exposure. But he went on a lot of media platforms, like even the Today Show and a lot of places. And he's clearly to me psychopathic, at the very least, had very severe antisocial personality. But that was really the one other case, and it was kind of short-lived. He was, I believe he was convicted of murder eventually, but that was the closest thing to what we have with Howard, with this kind of exposure of just a completely destructive personality having real-time media exposure. So that would be the only other case. I was just thinking about that.
We'll continue with double middle fingers to King Baby.
Correct?
You're correct.
Right.
And one day, those hoods behind him will melt if the air conditioning goes out.
Fucking leaving.
Yeah, he's going to be like, fuck, these guys, they're all watching me, and they said I'm not going to be happy.
I'll let you think what you want to think, that I'm miserable and everything else.
No.
That's
what if
fine.
you are miserable?
Fine.
What if I'm right? What if I'm right? What if you're miserable? You're going to sit there and live there?
Ronnie is just doing the best gray rock he's ever done. And the truth is, he knows this is them trying to make sure, like he's doing his best. Wig's trying to do his best to shit on his decision.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all. Like he knows that now. He might have at one point thought, okay, this is shtick. And now I'm sure he's talked to someone. I'm sure he's probably done his own research. I'm sure Stephanie's done her own research. Said you're working for some sociopath, and you have been your entire life. And I don't think you realized it. Raven?
Mm-hmm.
So Ronnie used the word satisfaction, and that's what he's really getting out of all this is satisfaction of what he's always dreamed of, which is getting away from where he's always lived and living the retirement life. And in case anybody's wondering, Stephanie got herself a job out in Vegas as a vet tech at a new veterinary office. So yay, Steph. Good for you.
Yeah, and she's young enough. She's going to have years of working ahead of her, and you know, why not? Especially if supposedly they've got connections out there. And Ronnie, being Ronnie, I'm sure he knows Vegas. He's got enough connections out there to make himself happy and entertain himself, and he's within spitting distance of Western, the Western United States, the rest of California, that if he wants to pop off somewhere for a little R&R, he could easily go up to the Bay Area. He could easily go to the fucking, I don't know, somewhere in California and just have a fucking great old time, or south of the border if he wants to.
Why would Vegas be so terrible? I don't get this. He's not like on a farm in the middle of fucking Ronnie knew what he was getting into. Everybody knows what Vegas is. Everyone listening here knows what it is.
What is Vegas? Gambling, music, comedy, broads. Wiggy hates comedy, hates women, hates music.
Warm weather.
Hates gambling. Hates gambling.
Yeah. He hates fun.
Yeah,
fun.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Maybe he'll go to the Liberace Museum. I don't know. Fuck. Let's continue. That one is only a little bit left.
Yep. No matter what.
Yep.
You don't care.
Yep. Nope.
Wow.
You're going to be right no matter what.
I am never packing up like I had to go through this shit here. I will never pack up and move again. That's my last place.
Colin in Pennsylvania, you're on.
Okay, the next one is 79 and the Sun.
I'm looking at Ronnie right now. He's red as a beet. Because I know what he does. He goes out in his backyard. He loves to sit outside and yenter it up with his neighbors.
No, my blood pressure is fucking up probably. I mean, there's no fucking sun. I haven't been in the backyard at all. Because I threw all the furniture out.
And what's going to happen is he loves to sit in his backyard.
I have nothing to sit on. So there's nothing to be in the backyard about. So
they sent it all to Vegas already.
No, I threw the garbage.
He thinks
fucking garbage.
Man,
Ronnie. Wow. Ronnie's from smashing the limo windows at this point.
He's fucking pissed.
Oh yeah,
for real.
Sitting by the pool in Vegas is relaxing. Let me tell you something.
Yeah. He's
I've been in the
like
shade.
The Planters peanut guys,
right?
Yeah, he's gonna have a monocle. I'm gonna tell you something. I've been in the shade in Vegas. The shade is hotter than the sun. He thinks he's gonna sit under an umbrella
What a fucking idiot. Let's go against the laws of, I don't know, science, the laws of, Jesus Christ.
Physics.
Yeah, physics, exactly.
Narcissism logic. Word salad.
79
You know what? Shade is hotter than the sun.
You know what? The pool is no way. It's no way the pool is more comfortable than the sand.
It's in the house and does nothing. Please.
Ronnie, I do
You
a
can't
lot.
have.
Don't go there. Don't go there, Ralph.
Listen,
this is
Ronnie,
stupid for you giving
Let me
me
hear his
fucking
point.
advice.
Let's hear what he's saying. Let's get it out of the table.
Let me finish. Let me just finish.
No, I don't
it's
want to
fine
let you finish because I'm fucking sick of hearing it.
What is it?
You haven't heard it yet.
I don't want to
Might be
hear it because
supportive.
I know it's going to be a bunch of bullshit, okay?
Ralph, just say it so I can move on.
Yeah, go ahead, Ralph.
Yeah, say it. Say the pre-planned bullshit, Ralph. You're going to call in and you're going to double team him, and you'll take him up the ass, and I'll take him in the mouth, and we'll both have our way with him. But Ronnie's not having it. Like he's just not having it. He's putting. He's put. Yeah.
Sorry, you're getting free stuff, and you're pretending like you're like not asking for it. You go like
I
they
didn't
just
ask
send it
for
to
it,
me.
Ralph.
How do they just send it to you? I'm just curious then.
What do you
how
mean,
do they just send it to you? Like, yeah, like how does people know your address magically?
I have no idea, dude. I never gave him my fucking address, okay?
It just shows up at your house. Okay.
It just showed up at my house. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Okay.
the internet,
All right.
you can find anything, obviously, because I get the fucking assholes.
So Ronnie got some stuff in the mail talking about shaving his balls and his ass, and it was like a man groomer or one of those devices. Anyway,
right.
That's what he got in the mail. And he's mad that he
got
put
something.
it out on his Twitter or something just to acknowledge it.
Right, and it's a benefit. It's supposed to be a benefit. I don't know. Jesus Christ, It's a little TMI for me, in terms of a 71-year-old man shaving his scrotum. But I digress. But yeah. So he's pissed off because someone got something off of being the show, but really it's not. It's off of being Ronnie. Like people know Ronnie. Maybe they just want to do him a favor. I don't fucking know. Or off his Twitter or off his Instagram. Does Ronnie have Insta?
I don't know. I know he's 71. He's going to be 72 in October. Stephanie does most of the Instagram that I see.
Yeah. So it might be for her benefit. Who knows?
Calling my fucking phones all the time. So you can find out anything you want to find out on the internet, and you know that, so don't break my fucking balls. Okay?
You feel Ronnie is...
I didn't give Man Groomer my fucking address. I didn't give any of those people
Imagine
my
Ronnie
address.
finally got free stuff, and it was Man Groomer. Just to shave his back.
Like cases of beer show up at his house, and they call him and
it
say,
showed up at
where
Richard's
sending
house
this.
too. It showed up at Richard's house. It showed up at JD's house. Nobody fucking gave him the address. It showed up.
Man,
So-
Ronnie is not fucking around in these clips. He's fucking done.
Ronnie also threw other staffers under the bus for getting the same shit he did.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to add that I do listen to other podcasts, and I'm going to shout out my favorite baseball podcast, John Boy. They do Man Groomer ads all the time, like the Lawnmower 4, and they do way better ads than this guy could ever do.
Yeah.
They are something... Oh my God. Like if you like baseball, go to johnboy.com. Go check out. They got so many podcasts. They got so much material. They're amazing. They're better than Barstool in my opinion right now.
Wow.
And I'm a Barstool girl, but they are just blowing shit up and they're so legit. Like you don't see the fakeness you do with Wiggy and his staff. You just see like real people that are, just, oh man, I can't explain it any better. Just if you like baseball, go see John Boy. They're so lovable. They're so good. I just, it's a plug. I'm sorry. And we're not sponsored or anything.
Yeah.
I watched these guys hack it out for years and they do such a great job. And they inspire me to do podcasts like on the fly, saying shit I never would say in real life, but I say here. So friends and family, I'm sorry.
When you say hack it out, you're not talking about them discussing Man Groomer, using it on their taint and shit like that as an advert.
No, they just joke about stuff. Like if, play pretend like they're using it on themselves, but they're fully clothed and they're just joking around about how they're using it and how great it is. And
fair enough.
All the positives about it. Let's just say.
Wonderful. Well, that used to be Man Groomer used to be a sponsor on the Stern Show, wasn't it?
It might have been, yeah. I want to say, yeah.
They're pretty aggressive in there. I mean, I see them on every podcast I listen to. I get ads for. I mean, they're pretty aggressive. So I wouldn't doubt that they would send him something. But man, Ronnie, he's way done with them.
Oh yeah,
I can tell you that he is way done with them.
Yeah, if you didn't hear it in the last episode, you'll definitely hear it in this one, and you're hearing it as it goes.
I don't know about that.
I'll give him
you don't know about that? Ask him. Ask him.
I don't know about that.
Him. No, ask him. Ask JD. Ask Richard. Ask him.
JD, they didn't ask for your address?
I gave it to him. I didn't want to know.
They asked me for Ronnie's. I gave that to him, too.
Yeah. All the big shots don't come on the fucking air now. They keep their mouths shut.
No, but Richard and JD didn't go online and do a commercial for them.
I didn't do a commercial.
Okay, now this just gets more and more interesting. Thank you, Sam, for making it this one extended and this is one, guys, normally we wouldn't play a 3-minute clip, but you have to go through this one because you're right, Raven. He's throwing other people under the bus and no one's coming in because they know he's right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And they're also thinking like, fuck you, Howard. Yeah, Ronnie's leaving. So, and there might have even been something backstage thing like back office thing where they said, look, you're leaving. I'm leaving. I'll give him my shit. And I'm going to say, if I have to, give you guys up, I'm going to, but I'll take the hits. Don't you worry about it. Cause he's not going to go after Richard. Like when Richard's not in the room, he's going to wait until he's in the, a studio and say,
right.
What do you mean you're getting free Budweiser or whatever? Fuck, what's this about? And then he'll give him shit. He's not going to waste it off air.
For them, all I do is when they post something, I'll favor it. That's it. That's it.
All right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's an endorsement.
That's true.
And you never endorse anything, Ralph, huh?
Not unless they pay me.
All right, enough.
Yeah,
It's getting angry. I don't want a contentious conversation. This is ridiculous. Everybody
cut him right off.
Down over there with the advice.
Howard distances himself from what he orchestrated.
Well, he was just going to say, like, he had Ralph. Like, Ralph is clearly fucked around people looking for free handouts using Howard and Howard's name and probably Varvatos shit and whatever nonsense you could get. And Howard knows it. That's why he had to protect him. He just totally shut that down.
Man, Ronnie hates them.
Yep.
Ronnie flat out fucking hates all of them.
For Howard?
John Barbados.
That place? Yeah.
John Barbados?
Yeah, they never gave you anything, Ralph, right? John Barbados never gave you any clothes, right?
Not that I know of.
Oh, yeah, okay. I don't buy that for fucking...
I know I bought every stitch of clothing from those guys.
I said, didn't say you. Did I say you?
Oh, all right. Thought you were accusing me.
Ralph has the same wardrobe.
I'm talking about your stylist.
Stylist. I haven't seen this guy in 2 years.
That's the funniest thing. Ronnie's so fucking on point. He is. I've never heard Ronnie this together. Never.
Oh, that's the angriest I've ever heard him. Like, don't mistake that. That was fucking hatred.
Yeah.
Straight out hatred. Like he's good at censoring himself, and he didn't cross that line. But, whew, man, that was fucking angry. That was seriously fucking angry stuff.
Yep. And the next clip is called Sword Fights, which I know, guys, just, you get your barf bags out already.
You'll like this.
What?
You'll like this. When he was a kid, he would have dick sword fights, boner fights with his friends.
Oh, you're kidding.
No.
Nah.
Yeah. What do you think of that? What?
Yeah, I believe it.
You put that on Twitter.
He liked...
Okay, go ahead.
So I just want to clarify. They're talking about Bobo. When Bobo was a child, like 13 or under.
Right.
And he used to have sword fights. So they're reusing content. I believe this was brought up before in the past.
You can still hear Ronnie's like hot. He's like, yeah. Like you can tell he's tense. He's fired up. He's like, yeah, I believe it. Like he wants to fucking explode right now.
Well, I know that Sam would have clipped these just to get us straight into gay pedophilia bullshit from Howard, and it's nothing to do with Bobo. It's just about, okay, this is the entree into sword fights, which Wiggy has mentioned for decades now about how
Yes, he has.
guys talking about slamming their dicks together. I've never. Okay, I don't really want to see my own dick, let alone other guys, and I certainly don't want to have a sword fight with other guys' dicks. So that was never something that didn't even occur to me as a kid. It never once occurred to me, this concept. The only time we use that expression sword fight is when you're in a bar and there's just too many guys and not enough women. Sword fight was just, too much competition, basically. And that's where it made sense to me. Not this. Jesus Christ. So we'll continue with the next one. Cubbing up to pedophilia. I'm not quite sure about that.
And who would win, Bobo?
Who are
No,
these people?
Just like a dad. You know, when you were teenagers, you would say, "Oh, who has a bigger dick?" I
think it's chubbing up to pedophilia.
have a bigger dick than you. You know, if you just do that, and
But you were hard. You were hard. You were hard.
No.
Yes, you were.
That. No,
Tell the truth.
Around.
You had a sword fight.
No.
You can't have a sword fight with a limp cock.
What?
Okay. Does he have experience?
What?
Here's a quote. I was gay, Howard.
You did crazy shit when you
I
were
don't
a kid.
care what day it was.
in the
they
day.
did it.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, you have a cockfight, and then you
It's like back in the day I was gay, but now I'm straight.
Okay. No, next clip. Forget about your story, Bobo. How big is your cock?
I want to get back to the fact that you took your dick out, got hard, and fought another guy with your dick.
Oh, yeah. You did wild shit like that. Yeah.
Now, this is also made up bullshit from Bobo. Knows this is what the boss wants. We need some gay content. Suits the fucking bill. And he's playing all the right notes. So this sounds to me like bullshit, but this is what the boss wants to hear. So you're going to hear it, guys. Sorry.
How
big is your cock?
It was normal size, I guess, about, 6 inches, 7 inches.
By the way, here's something you didn't know. Bobo's got one of those bent dicks, like according to one of the writers.
Coyote's disease.
He has Peyronie's disease.
Yeah, he said he saw it, and they can confirm that Bobo's dick is bent
bullshit.
up.
That's bullshit. Jason said that.
Okay, look, guys, if it's not shit talk, guys, it's dick talk. Yeah, we're getting into all deviants.
This is great radio. I mean, I don't want to hear any of this shit. I don't care.
OutQ is wearing like a, I don't know. They put they've got their flag at half mast.
Derek, you want to confirm that he's got Peyronie's dick?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
I saw it, and it has a right angle. It like turns left. When Bobo came into...
Who the fuck is this?
Derek. He's a producer.
Oh,
he
my
helped
God.
Robin with her songs.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. Oh.
Yeah, he's like a sub producer who is often used to propel fights among staff.
Oh, my Lord.
Where the Borat like onesie, and he had to walk through Times Square with the shame bell. I was in the hallway where he changed, and I was like guarding the door, and I had to look to see if he was done changing, and he was nude, and I saw his penis, and it was crooked.
No, if I had a crooked dick, dude, I would have broke my dick. You know how many times during sex you would have broke your dick?
If a guy's flaccid, his dick doesn't curve up, and he's not getting into a onesie with a heart on. It's going to look like a door hanger. Go ahead, Raven.
Derek sounds like a hobbit, and my creepometer is going crazy right now. Like, just shut the fuck up and get. You do not have a voice for radio. Bye, Derek.
This is just a little bit. This is just a little bit too much for just about all of us, guys. Number 19. They're on to In the Closet, Stern, and That's Enough of You.
What did you have, Bobo?
It was only one time. It was like a dare. You know, you did things when you were kids, crazy shit. You know,
the other
kids did that.
Yeah, the other times he was just sticking his dick in my ass. That's all.
Howard, come on, Howard.
Fred comes to life with a shitty impression.
No, 0 times did I have a boner. I'm not into dudes.
You never had a sword fight, never.
Never.
that flies in the face of how many times he said he has done it. He has done it as a kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will find those fucking clips.
I've heard him talk about sword fights, yeah, for sure, a couple times.
Over decades, he said it multiple times.
What else did you guys, crazy shit did you guys do?
Well, you know about the vacuum, but that was...
All right. It's enough with him. It's enough.
Why? It's bullshit.
I can't take it.
The next clip, Barryface Stylist weighs in on 13-year-old sword fights.
Sorry, but did I get this right? Did Bobo just say he was having sword fights in high school with guys and he's not gay? Okay. That's maybe the funniest thing he's ever said.
If you're having sword fights with guys at 13, or 14, who knows, maybe 15. I don't know.
And they're constantly saying, "Oh, my dick's bigger than your dick," and they're taking them out and looking at each other.
Robin, it doesn't matter what you're saying.
Howard's like, 14, 15, I don't know.
Maybe
Okay,
16, 17.
16. 40. Does anyone want my number? What are they talking about? Fillmore, Raven, not to exclude you, but as another guy, Fillmore, like, I've never heard of this. Have you? Like,
listen, I've been in the they live in Asia, communal baths in Korea and Japan, and they're called onsen in Japan, and the communal baths, they're segregated. It's all men in one and all women in the other. And yeah, your shit's hanging out. But no one's staring at anybody. They're minding their own fucking business. That's because, in the old days, they didn't have baths. Now everybody has one. So no one really gives a shit about that's old tradition. But again, that's the closest I'm going to get to some kind of, if you go into a spa, you go into a sauna, you got a towel around you and shit. It's not this.
Have you ever even heard of this?
It's almost like you walk into the door and there's a dick instead of a doorknob, and that's what you use to open the door, and every aspect of it is about, dick and gay. So I've never heard of this. No,
I've never I've never had a friend come to me and go, yeah, when I was younger,
I had a sword fight.
We pulled our dicks out and attacked each other with them. Never have I heard that once. I remember. Here's the furthest I'll go is when you're so young that you didn't even know what your dick is.
Yeah.
And you're peeing out of it, and your friend's peeing out of it. You're like, oh yeah, we'll sword fight then, with our piss. Well, that's the closest that I can get. I have never once been encountered with someone using their dick on me or me using it on them and us fighting together. No,
we
used
to draw our names in the snow and that kind of shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you piss your name in the snow and.
Sorry, Raven, you're learning.
Oh my gosh!
This shit, you're attacking a guy with your dick, and you. I don't know. This is fucking weird shit. This is weird territory, man.
With apologies to Zappa.
I'll never understand how you guys walk around with those things between your legs. Major props to you guys. But here's the thing. Ralph called in 4 times this day.
Yeah.
4 freaking times.
Mm-hmm.
He had to get on the air, and most of it was about Ronnie or Bobo.
Yep.
And sword fights.
You're when you say sword fight, you think Excalibur. No, it's got to be dicks.
I gotta believe if there's anyone that knows about sword fights, it's Ralph. So who better to have on the show at this point than Ralph?
Except when he gets in a sword fight, he uses his mouth. That's the only difference.
That's the scabbard.
He's the sheath in the sword fight.
Oh my god.
He's got oh god, this is okay. We're only a minute into that one.
If you're hard with another guy, that's gay. If you both
but I'm saying that he probably did this a lot. He now wants to play it down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He says it only happened once, but
right.
When he was talking to the guys about it, I don't know if it was a one-off.
Well, he admitted in the first conversation before any of this that they were always having these arguments about whose dick was bigger.
Yeah.
Having an argument over who has a bigger dick is not the same as pulling your dick out and fucking smacking it against another guy's dick.
No.
Like just wanting to hear the sound and getting hard. Fuck.
And then
Where is
showing
Bobo?
to each other.
You know what?
Get back here.
I'm guessing. Okay. I am guessing that Bobo had at least 25 boner fights.
Okay, time out.
He's wishing, he's hoping. Go ahead. He's already got this in the spank bank.
Total projection or wishing.
Yeah.
That would be him inviting boys over to see Playboys at his house or have dirty puppet shows where they fuck each other. And he's thinking about having sword fights with these little kids or boys that come to his house. Like, if there was ever a creep I could ever imagine, like inviting other kids over, kind of like Dexter, how he kills like bad people.
Yeah.
Wiggy just invites like innocent people over to expose himself or make them expose themselves in some kind of creepo way and use that.
Yeah, that's been postulated. I know Bob thinks it's just deviance. It's all kind of, NPD based, and taboo. It's all about taboos and not about, gay or straight. But anybody who isn't learned enough would just call him a huge fucking fag. But either way, this shit. I'm just sorry. I got to go with the gutter.
But this is beyond. This is just deviance.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not even
like gay
insulting.
guys don't think about.
It's insulting
this.
to call it gay because we've got gay listeners, and they're going, "We've never done this."
Exactly. This is beyond that. Like, what? I'm sitting here. Like, you go down their little deviant rabbit holes in NPD thought, and you're just like, what the fuck are we talking about right now? Like,
Matthew Schulz, this is for you. We need a deviant advent calendar.
Oh no!
You know what would be funny?
Chocolates.
Like
God
in
bless.
Braveheart, or in with that movie 300, all the arrows coming. It'd be funny. It was just like a bunch of dicks. Like that's all I'm seeing in this clip. Like, I bet he's had 25 cockfights. What are you talking about? What is going on right now?
We will fight in the shade.
We'll fight in the shade.
It's warmer under the shade.
Once he started, it felt good. And and as Ralph points out, if you're getting hard, once you're past 13, come on, and you're rubbing penises with a guy,
right? You're flailing your penis around. It's gonna get hard.
Yeah.
He puts it on Ralph.
Yeah, of course, because it can't be Howard. So number 21, Howard going full pedo fantasy.
Hey, come.
Yeah, let's see who comes.
Bob, aren't you glad you hit your wagon?
Oh my God. I didn't know that there was another level up from that. Like when that ended, I was like, oh, thank God that's over. Now it's going to another level, apparently.
Give me 1 sec.
First, guys, let's.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably jerking off together, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Okay.
And don't forget, Bobo used to stick a vacuum up his ass too, which is kind of like a cock.
Up his ass? Oh my God.
That's right.
Yeah, the central vacuum.
Up your ass?
Oh yeah, that's not crazy.
No, has the hose. It was built in the floor. And you.
Oh, fuck me. Okay. I guess Howard would love that. No, I'm going to continue, guys. We're going to roll this until we get through it.
Stuck a vacuum up his ass?
My dick in it once to try it.
You never put that hose up your ass? Come on.
I probably did. Yeah, there was like a little hose. Yeah.
Hey,
yeah,
Bobo.
I think I did that.
How many boner fights did you have? I don't want you to lie. I don't want you to bullshit. I want the truth.
The way Howard's making it sound like, come on, you never put the can opener up your ass. You never fucking deep throat the ice cream scoop. Like everything seems to, it's all been sexualized, gay sexualized for him.
Yeah. And it's like a weird normalized thing where it's like, yeah,
Right.
he probably did it. I was like, I'm just sitting here like, if I stuck a vacuum hose up my ass.
Did you ever fuck a G.I. Joe doll?
I would remember that probably. You know, like that would be an extreme moment in my life. Like, that's not normal, dude. I don't know.
It's like that Norm Macdonald joke is, you know how they get that recovered memories? I'd like to think that if my uncle fucked me, that'd be the only thing I could remember.
Exactly. like where they're like, yeah, you probably had 25 boner fights you were a kid. Like, if I had one boner fight with a friend after the age of 13, I would absolutely remember it, and I would probably think about it daily because it would probably have been one of the most traumatizing events. Like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Vacuums up the ass, kids hard dicks.
Yeah.
Like, where has this show really gone? What the fuck, man?
I just got the Photoshop. I'm going to get an Electrolux vacuum.
I don't even want to see that Photoshop.
It has to go up Wiggy's ass. It has to.
Okay, well, we'll try to
vacuum in the ass.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Damn, okay.
Sorry. No, just keep going. Ignore me. Go ahead.
Howard, it was a one-time thing. It was like a dare. You do daring things when you were a kid. Come on.
You were not such a kid. You were 13, you claim, and you were probably 15.
It's not daring. It's fucking deviant and gross.
You know, no, it wasn't 15.
But what about all the arguments, Bobo, about whose dick is bigger? How did they end?
It was like I said, whose dick was bigger. You know, that's what you did because, you know, you started noticing girls, stuff like that. And so, yeah, you know,
girls.
How big is your dick? So then we took our dicks out, and that's what it was. You know, it was
of course, yeah, we've all done this.
A fun thing. But it left like
I'll bet you, Robin, this is all bullshit. I'll bet you Bobo was Long Island boner fight champion of the world. I'm telling you. So let me ask you something. When you
okay, let's power through and get to the next clip. 13-year-old penis manipulation smut join the evolution.
When you had a boner fight, and you know in a boner fight you have to have a hard on. What did you?
What, is there a rule book? Is this like D&D?
Apparently.
What? Jesus Christ! You know when there's a boner fight, you got to be.
Don't
hard.
Look at me.
You got to be naked. Let's just listen. This one part of male lore you're not going to hear about from us, Raven.
We've all been there. You know, you got to be hard when you're attacking your friends with a hard on at 13.
When you're on a pile of naked guys, you just exactly.
To get hard.
This Fred jerked them off.
Oh, no.
No, Ralph, be quiet for a minute. Bobo,
right.
How did you get hard for the boner fight?
And say it real slow so Howard can take off.
I'm going to have to clip some of that gay music, that gay porno music. It's just to give it a little soundtrack. And repeat it.
Chubbed up a little bit, whatever it was.
How?
You know,
how did you do it? You're in the room with the guy. You're nude.
He's nude.
And no. What was we didn't take all our clothes off. Let's get that straight. It was one of those things you just drop your pants and that was.
That's better. That's less gay.
All right, so your pants are down. And in order to move around for the fight, in other words, you have to take your pants off your ankles so you can have movement to win the fight.
Does he need a disrobing tutor as well? Fuck, what is this?
How does Wiggy know so much?
Seriously, his weird little details just disturb me more. Roll your pants off your ankles. Like that's just serial killer shit.
I think, actually, you know what? Matthew Schulz has already done the Photoshop already. It's going to be like, because this image in Howard's mind is like the Sistine Chapel. Like, that's how vibrant it is. And it's just going to. I've already got the fucking Photoshop ready, and you guys are going to love it. Fuck.
I don't want to even see it.
Or else you would trip. You know that.
Yeah, but it wasn't a thing where you would dance around like a boxer. It wasn't nothing like that. It was
no, but you don't want to fall down. You know you took your pants off.
Why?
No, the pants were down to the ankles. That's it.
Okay, so your pants are down to your ankles, and you're nude from the waist down. How do you get hard?
Oh, my God. Is this real? Is this seriously fucking real?
Welcome to my hell, Bob. Welcome.
I don't want to be in it anymore. I want out.
Bob's gonna be looking at like Poltergeist movies or marathon just to get his mind off of it.
I need to see someone killed or something just to cleanse my mind. What is he talking about? He's talking about kids' hard dicks. Like, can we move on from this? What the fuck?
Bob's going to have to binge all 7 Saw movies after this just to get himself right.
You know, like, honestly, if you were taking mushrooms during this and listening to this podcast, you're going to have the worst trip ever.
It's
going to be floating dicks.
I think it was like, you just chubbed yourself up. I don't know.
No, you remember very clearly. How did you get hard?
I thought of Patrick Swayze in Dirty Dancing.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just how it was so quick and done.
How did you get hard? How did you did you manipulate?
Is he a lawyer hammering him in this like OJ trial right now, or what the fuck am I listening to?
He's Perry Gason.
Trial
How many
of
times is he going to ask
degeneracy.
that?
Oh man, this is.
He is. How did you get hard?
Yeah, how did you get hard? How does a penis get hard? I don't know. Let's get Quincy on the fucking case.
In front of this young boy.
No.
You went in a separate room. We came out fighting.
Yeah. It was like you turn your back, for like a second.
You turned your back.
Up for like a second. Yeah.
For a second. All right. And then you got
serious. I can see why you wanted him to take a full summer off just to recover from go into some kind of sexual deviant therapy and, get into some like, I don't know, like, so what do you call it? Encounter group to fucking recover from this awful fucking radio or podcasting.
There's no recovery from this. Trust me.
Fuck, I'm going to have to watch like Blade 1 and 2 on a loop for a while and just watch vampire movies or something. I don't know, something, maybe Charles Bronson films. I'm going to just skip through the rest of that one and go to the next one.
I don't want to hear the rest of that clip. I don't
we'll try
know how we got there. That is so fucked up.
It's like Ben-Hur. Okay, gay projection and Roosevelt jerk-off sessions. So Raven, this ties into something you just said. So let's tie it up.
I showed you
wrap it up in a bow.
A video of me at 13 pulling my pants down with a hard-on with a male friend of mine, and we were rubbing penises together.
And you sashayed over there with your pants around your ankle.
What would you? What opinion would you come to? What conclusion would you come to?
And what age were you?
13. With pubic hair.
I said you were exploring. It's part of being exploring when you're a kid.
I have never been so grossed out.
We've done the scat shows.
What? I'd rather have scat than this. This is so creepy.
This is really creepy. This is really creepy, guys. This is beyond the normal scat stuff. This is pedophilia territory now. This is really fucking weird.
For any celebrities out there who are thinking of coming on to the Howard Stern show, do you really want to be tied down to this kind of show?
Yeah.
And good luck, Steve Martin, Miley Cyrus, and Metallica.
Martin Short.
Oh, Martin Short. When you come in this week, Martin Short, I love you to death. I think you're amazing. The rest of you,
I hope he likes talking about having his asshole eaten and masturbating with his friends. That seems to be where this is going.
It would be more fun. It would be funnier if he actually asked these questions of Martin Short and Steve Martin, and then went to Wendy and asked her like the fucking acting questions, just to fuck with them and make it like a Jackass type thing. Because right now this is just going into like the deviant wormhole into I don't know, like the abyss of deviance.
It's like opening Playboy. Yeah. It's like watching the first video back in the day. That's what you did.
I told my staff, no one on this show, including Richard, did this growing up.
No, Richard waited until he was on the show and did it with Sal instead. For pay. Like, fuck.
Can I throw my hat there too? I've done a lot of stuff. I've never done that.
Richard did something like that. Remember he said with his friends? Sure he did.
No, he did it with Sal on our show, but he was an adult and he's gay.
But he did something back in Kansas too with his friends. Remember he said he alluded to?
Bubble baths.
This is awful. Yeah.
They jerked off in a bathtub together. Again, he's gay.
Oh, yeah, that was it. Yeah. No, I never did nothing like that.
Where were you when you did this, Bobo? Where were you? Like in bed?
Okay, I can't even go there. I'm starting to turn.
I don't want to know.
Okay, let's try. Sam, we're really sorry. You did a wonderful job with the clipping. It's just the subject matter was so fucking brutality. Number 20.
Yes, Sam, you are a doll, and I love you to death, but we just cannot do it right now.
This is our scat that you can't take. We will take the scat that you can't take, and next time.
How funny is that?
Yeah, it's amazing. Number 23, jerk off rejection and Ralph coming across fruitier than an edible arrangements delivery.
You're like, what? That ain't going to help. It's going to hurt.
I'm going to look at you and jerk off?
Yeah, I mean, what am I doing? What are we turning out the lights?
Howard, in all seriousness, did you just brush that off, or did it make the friendship weird after that?
I don't think we ever saw each other again. But I mean, it wasn't like I just, for some reason, I think he lost interest in me because I wasn't going along with the program.
It happens back in the day.
I know.
Hold on. That means we may have to play the rest of that previous one first. So let me go back to that.
I showed you.
Hold on.
No, I was in my basement.
Okay.
A lot of crazy stuff went on in my basement.
Yeah, but now he's clamming up and he won't tell us the crazy stuff. They were down there with their pants down a lot.
A lot.
Oh, I guarantee you this happened more than once to Bobo. I know it.
I'm telling you, I put my hand on the Bible. It only happened once. Only once.
Lie
detector. It was like a dare. I'm telling you, you did crazy shit.
Okay, a little bit more.
That's
I remember when I was about 15 years old, a friend of mine was over my house.
15. Now he's saying at 15, but I heard him say when he was 10, when he was 11, when he was, or like the age changes. Now he's saying when he was 15. I
Good
don't.
Callback.
I'll find these fucking clips and I'll have them as drops for the next show.
And he said to me, I'll never forget it. He said to me, "Hey, what do you think if we both jerk off in your room?" And I said to him, "What do you mean?" And he goes, like you just lay on your bed and I'll lay on my bed, because I had a couch in my room. And he goes, and then we'll jerk off. And I go, that ain't happening. I mean, I go, you got to be.
Pants are already down.
No, that's why I draw the line.
And the original story was the guy asked him to jerk him off, and he did. He started to do it. And he said, I didn't know what it was. I knew it was wrong, and I stopped. I don't believe he stopped. I believe he enjoyed it, and I believe he invited the guy in to do it.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This just sounds too, I've heard too much of the show. Let me get the rest of this.
That ain't going to help. It's going to hurt.
No.
I'm going to look at you.
So we get into that one again. 1 sec.
Dang.
I know. I would have still been friends with him, but he was just I just thought it was really weird. I didn't know what to make of it.
Bobo kept his friends.
At 15, you don't think it's weird. You'd think it was extremely fucking gay. That's all. There's no weird about it. Unless you're conflicted because you enjoyed it. You didn't know what it meant. Jesus Christ. Okay.
And he was all excited, this guy. He was like, hey, let's jerk off. He had the greatest fucking... Yeah, he had the greatest idea, and I was like, "That's not such a great idea."
I got a hammer down in the basement. How much of the hammer handle do you think I could stick up my ass?
Oh, Bobo's friend.
Oh, Christ.
Wiggy was the one that was excited, not the friend. Keep going.
And I think he suggested it. Number 24, rules for anyone who wants to have a boner fight.
How could it be a minute? Because you don't chub up and then start touching each other within a minute. It had to be at least 5 minutes. Come on. You're just lying about the time, even.
Bobo, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
It's a practical question for anyone who's considering a boner fight out there and really wants to win. Would you, in other words, when you're having the boner fight, do you hold your boner with your hand so you can manipulate it like a sword?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Okay.
He needs a boner fight tutor. Go ahead.
I couldn't raise my hand fast enough. Sorry, I was writing notes furiously here.
Yeah.
But how funny is it that it's a 2-on-1 bully session with Ralph and Wiggy on Bobo? And they're like rapid fire questioning him on everything that he did and how fast he did it and what he did.
And Robin's not saying anything, like much of anything. She's just a laugh track.
Dead silent.
Sort of normal, yeah.
No, but I'm saying like you can't get involved in men talking about cocks, Robin. Like we can't make it feminine and in the slightest.
Right.
She's not even cackling.
No.
Or do you just flail your hips back? Oh, you use your hand to fight. Yeah.
Of course.
I see.
And then you get close to the guy.
Why?
And you swat his dick with your dick.
Oh, thank you, Robin. We didn't know what happened next. The last two clips are really short, guys, 6 seconds each, I think. Heterosexual announcement, 250,000.
Chris is gay. I'll ask him. Chris, is this gay or not? I mean, maybe it's not fair for heterosexual men to decide.
Now it's a 3-on-1.
Yep. And the last one, LOL, holy projection onto Bobo.
Yeah.
He's such a macho guy now.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's clearly gotten over any tendencies he had. He's so fucking manly. It's ridiculous. The dyeing of his beard and the various wigs that he wears.
Oh, come
Who's
on.
he talking about?
Anyway, let's go to...
Okay, guys, believe it or not, that brings us to the end of the 14th, and it could not have come fast enough. I apologize for any kind of post-traumatic stress this episode has given you. I know we are all going to have to...
Thank you for apologizing to me, because...
We're going to have to dive into a vat of brownies and shit and just like... I don't know, whatever it takes to get our minds off of it. So, any closing thoughts, my friends?
I'm going to church. I'm not a religious guy. I'm going to church tomorrow.
All right.
I'm looking at it like my basement flooding or listening to Wiggy. I don't know which is worse. I'm at a dead stall right now. Sorry.
Bring on the scat talk. All right, guys, thank you so much for sticking through this one and sticking through thin and thin. And we've got a lot of episodes we're getting caught up on the next little while. Raven and I will be clipping like motherfuckers, getting the breakdowns up to modern day. And then also want to do a little prediction here, guys. First day back, which is next Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Yeah, okay. Tuesday. We have a running poll that it's going to be like... let's document it now. How long do you think before the first dick mention into the show?
Ooh, it's going to be a eulogy in there. There's going to be some COVID Delta talk.
Yeah.
Probably a Jason update on his weight loss. And then staffers, what they did over the holiday. I'm willing to guess it might take an hour plus.
Okay. I hedged my bets and I said 45 minutes, but if it's even just like an aside, like a little dick mention, that counts. So it could happen in 10 minutes or 1 minute or 5 minutes in. It could happen in an hour and a half. But I think the answer is closer to what you have. Bob?
It depends upon how hard he was on Beth. I'd probably go with Raven, probably about an hour and a half. He'll be wanting to bring it up before that, but yeah, I'd probably say about an hour and a half.
Okay, guys, we'll take your bets in on the website, on the Facebook page rather, and make sure to check our stuff out on Patreon. It's weekly content, guys, at the Black Kluge level. That's $5 and above. Great stuff with me, Bob, Deborah, Carrie. And then Sam and Raven when they're able to contribute on certain specific episodes. And then we're going to do a little synergy, and some of those Patreon episodes will make themselves to Sunday shows as well, like with this weekend coming. So thank you so much, guys. The past weekend, as you've heard this one, the previous week will if you've heard Deborah. So thank you so much, guys. We love you, and take care.
If you went through the most incredible metamorphosis and somehow transformed yourself into the best person you're capable of being, and you and Lisa G, after that metamorphosis took place, were on the top floor of a burning building, and it's just you two, and God told Lisa, I will give you the ability to fly if you kiss John the Stutterer, she would say no.
I know. Well,